And that was my TED Talk. Thank you for coming.
Ha! You activated my trap card.
Oh no. So yeah,
Your bugs, though.
Godbound.
Yes.
Oh, this is
Hooray.
Is this like session 0.5, 0.75, wherever we get to?
Fair enough.
You know, it's just kind of making sure everyone's got everything they need. Though I think we went all over the character sheets quite a bit already. It'd be good to actually, you know, get you guys to introduce your characters and stuff to each other.
Fair enough. Also, is it just me or did I not take a look at this map properly? That town is huge.
Which town?
Mural?
Mural is the biggest city in the area. That's why.
It's the size of Jersey. I can only imagine.
It is the one of the few places that actually, you know, is staying upright at this point. It's
I love how that's just a very polite way of saying everything else is chaos and death.
yeah, right. Well, yeah, it's basically by the time they got to that point, the invaders basically agreed to let someone else stay in charge. So Mural is run by someone else, but
we shall claim it as our own.
yeah.
A traitor, I think the appropriate term is.
Yes. What's that expression now? The I know it from the World War Z book.
Quisling.
Quisling, yay. Quisling is the phrase used for someone who, when like an overwhelming force moves into the area, effectively rolls over and accepts their deal and usually their ideologies as well.
I mean, like Denmark did during the Second World War.
I think
just like us.
I can't
We're going to roll into the other and they're going to roll over.
Yeah. I actually I can't remember where it came from, but it was from the Second World War, where basically the Nazis marched into an area and the guy who like was the mayor of the place basically was there with a Nazi flag going yay. They went in.
I mean, that sounds very much like Denmark. They're like, yeah, we won't fight back.
Yeah.
We're not surrendering.
This guy like
doubling down on the white flag.
This guy like surrendered fully. Like he was like, yes, I wish, you know, everything is yours. Wonderful. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, just don't kill me.
So just to go over like the basics before we introduce the characters, just to make sure that everything's all flat out. Like 9 years ago, invaders moved into this country. They absolutely devastated large parts of it. Several parts of the environment were changed as huge feats of power were displayed, and you know areas were destroyed, brought to rubble. You know, it's there's an area up here called the Split Mountain, and that's because he decided to take chunks out of a mountain to build his fortress, Fort Bloodstone, down here. 8 years ago, after the invasion, General Bloodstone retreated into Fort Bloodstone and has not been seen since. But his cult is in charge of just about everything in the area.
I got a very strong God Emperor feeling right now.
Yeah.
Question. I only have one question. Where
Yeah.
exactly did they come from? West, bottom, or east? Bottom, whatever.
Oh, they originally came from the west.
Okay.
So, yeah. The west, not the Westwend Sea. The Westwend Sea is in the east. But yeah.
So is that a landmass over there or an island?
That's an island. That's there. They arrived there first, and they'd like set up camp and then just washed across the country basically. And that
would be good if you could travel over the water easily.
Exactly.
You could retreat back across it. No one could follow you easily.
Yeah.
It's also one of the reasons Mural still stands, because by the time they got to Mural, these guys had been fighting several large battles, and they just kind of agreed to let the betrayer, take the position, and rule over everything, with the church majorly in power, of course. But yeah, but
Vassalization's important to feudalization.
Indeed.
You have to have someone running your shit.
So they've got a vassal up there, and yeah, it's been 8 years, and things have been terrible. So
Absolutely, especially if you've been dead the entire time.
indeed, and with that, perhaps we should introduce Sade. Sade? Sade?
Sade, like you Sade.
Sade. Okay. Do you want to go ahead?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, what am I doing? Where are we starting?
Introducing yourself, your character.
Oh, as my character? Do you want me to do like in character or out of character?
I mean, they're not exactly around at the moment, so out of character.
They're not exactly
Yeah.
constant or extant at the moment. Yeah, okay. So, Sade, did we agree on the backstory for her? Do you
Yes.
want anything to change?
No, the backstory was fine.
Okay, so Sade was a girl, and she was a good girl. You know, she had to do a lot for her family. She was a farming girl down in Medgar. She spent a lot of her time helping her father, who had difficulty understanding things, and he was just that kind of way farming because he couldn't do it alone, and he had no sons. He had 3 daughters with his wife, who died about 7 years before Sade dealt with a few things. Basically, she was raised by her older sister, and they all kind of worked together to be like some kind of hive-minded mother, or rather, like they worked together to raise their own family and raise each other, at the same time supporting their father, who was kind of a distant man, but not for any other reason than who he was and how he saw the world, because he couldn't think very well. And over time, it became clear that Sade just had to get married. It wasn't anything they could do about it. One of them had to take the bullet, in a sense, because they could not support their family, as it were. It was just too big for a man and his daughter to farm all the time. They felt that their father should be able to take care of everything as long as their younger sister could take care of the chickens, and ultimately she was the best choice because, well, they needed their older sister to manage everything, and she was just kind of superfluous in a sense, or at least she wasn't vital. So she entered the marriage lottery that year, and at the age of 19, it was very, very uncomplicated maneuver, you know. Young men and women who the families felt wouldn't have been fair to base such a future on silly things such as love, put them together in a marriage lottery, and it's very common practice for rural farm communities back in the day. And what you would do is, you know, you put a bunch of names in a ballot and you try to match them up to make it fair. You know, that way not everybody got like disproportionate values for the progeny. But it was a happy time, it was a celebrating time. You know, everybody would get together, they would make a lot of food, they would have fun, they would tell stories, they would play games. And this usually happened between the middle of the day and the dusk. And it was a fun time. People would wear their hair differently to indicate renewal and growth. And then oftentimes they would cut it afterwards, saying like, hey, I'm a different person now, I am married, I'm different. And she did that. She put her hair in braids, and she had the fun, she had the flowers, she was dressed in her marriage gown as much as it could have been, and she loved it. And it was a fantastic day just as soon as the screaming stopped, which it continued for quite a bit. And it was distant at first. It's not something you would have noticed immediately, but it kind of quieted the whole procession. And when the man ran in, missing an arm, falling to his knees, gasping for breath, and the swordsman came up behind him and sloughed off his head easily, everybody just kind of scattered and were systematically slaughtered. The last thing she really remembers is that someone had driven a sword directly down from her shoulder into her stomach, so big, so thick, that it was not even something that one could easily process before it just all went black. And her body was taken and dumped in the site on which it was to be married, much like, because it was convenient. It was already set up and it was outside of town. Made it easy.
So yeah.
And that's her story.
And that's the last thing she remembers.
Yeah.
So who would like to go next? Kerah or Quinton?
I'm happy to go, though I don't have nearly as much detail as that.
Yes, unfortunately, Kerah does not remember. Quite a few years.
Good chunk of time missing. So Kerah is, or perhaps was, a nomadic tribes person. She doesn't remember too much of her life, mostly from early life rather than later. She had parents, sisters, who she loved. She was being, I suppose you'd say, groomed as a shaman. She was pretty much the star pupil of her tribe's shaman, who was going to induct her into the mighty Order of the Caribou when she came of age. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And, how much detail should I go into here? Because I actually don't know too much myself, coming present day. Let's just say that it turns out where you die can be as important as how you die, and in this case, how she died was very unjustly, as I'm guessing, where we can pretty much relate to each other on that front. So, she died. She came back, and what she remembers is that she died in a terrible fashion. And having a second chance means she can balance those scales by any means necessary.
So she travels.
Oh yes.
Around
the nomadic lifestyle has stuck with her.
And occasionally has been known to leave horrible...
She knows where wrongs need righting. Let's just put it like that.
Justice in so many formats.
Lovely.
Free for recirculation.
Quinton.
Well, yeah, clearly I'm the only one who isn't dead yet.
Right.
That's always something.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll get there, buddy.
But yeah, Quinton, he grew up on an orphanage along with 4 other people. And, he was there when the war happened. He was trained to be a guardsman by his mentor, who, on the day of the fight, came to him slightly drunk and said, "Don't worry, I got this. You just make sure that people get away." Yeah, and he did his job. He made sure people got out of the city and made sure not as many people were killed. But of course, he went back to try and find his mentor, but he never really found his corpse. So right now, he's just walking around with the lingering of trying to find his mentor. Like, is he still alive? Can I still save him? Etc., etc. But he is still doing this while working in the city as a watchman, and making sure that the city doesn't really go as much to hell as it probably would have.
Batman, don't forget.
He got a small band of people with whom he worked with, who are called the Brothers of the Watch. And their current aim is essentially just if there is crime in the city, we will be the mob boss of it.
I love it. It's very Watchmen-esque.
Yeah. And not just worked with either. Some of them you grew up with, as an orphan.
3 of them were currently working in... was it 2 of them? I actually don't remember.
3 of them are currently working, and there's your little sister.
The 3 of the people with whom I grew up with decided to join the band of the Watch. Well, the youngest one of them isn't really old enough, so they all live together and take care of one another.
Just to check, how old is...
Award for family.
How old is Senna at this moment, the little sister?
I think she would be around, 12-ish?
12, okie doke.
Do not tell him that, he'll use it against you.
I'll use everything against all of you.
I'm expected to come back home one day and just find them all slaughtered on a cross.
That would be simple. You could do so much more to cause. I'm sorry.
Actually,
I wanted to point out something about my character before we go any further.
Yeah.
That her story, unlike your guys' story, doesn't inform her words. It's her resurrection that does.
Yeah.
Where her power comes from is not from her death, but from her...
resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah, rebirth, as I guess we put it.
Okay, then I suppose I should start, if I'm able to get the confidence in this. Okay. So, let's start in a swamp, shall we?
Oh, let's!
Oh boy. Which swamp? Which talking about here?
Touchstone
The
Swamp.
one with the stinky parts.
Just to the south of Threeport there.
Ah, yeah.
The ground itself sucks at the feet of the travelling woman. Though woman is perhaps not the term that we'd use for her anymore. Moving around, observing the swamp, maintaining a tree, I believe?
Oh, yes.
The dark hollow of the house that you reside in, if you'd call it a house in many ways, sits a little in the distance of this place that it does it even feel like home? Would you even consider it your home?
In a way, yes. It's the only home she knows now.
That's where all my stuff is.
Well, the stuff would be limited. There's beady little
Would it
eyes.
be too kind of awful a pun to say home is where the heart is? 'Cause it
Oh
does kind of
dear.
fit.
Indeed.
Oh god, literally. Wherever I put my heart is where my home is. Don't you mean that? No.
There is a scent on the air. It's not fire, but it has a spice to it. This scent of no vengeance. You know vengeance and anger when you smell it.
Yes.
And it is so powerful. There's someone out there who wants vengeance, but you've never seen it this strong before. Like, you've never really felt this kind of burning desire from this distance before. No one's usually around your swamp, after all.
Not for long, certainly.
For good reason.
So what would Kerah do?
If there's something as tangible as that, she is going to follow it. Head for whatever direction makes that feeling strong.
Okay, so you start to wander. And we'll switch positions as you wander through your bog in search of the source of such delicious hatred. And we're going to go back.
Not to laugh, I'm sorry.
It's alright. It's alright. It's funny stuff.
Delectably.
Delectably.
Contextually hilarious.
Because we're going to go back about 8 and a bit years at this point.
Heck yeah. As we should.
And the screams are getting closer to the wedding procession. Your little sister is holding onto your hand in fear. She immediately came to you as the screams came out. She looks to you for comfort, her sister for guidance, and her father for money sometimes. But,
Money. So I immediately look down at her and I tell her, you have to run. You have to get to the tree line right now. And you find your older sister. You follow her, okay? You take care of her. No, don't question me. Just go.
Molly seems scared, but the fact that you're being serious with this, she does seem to be frozen to the spot. But let's make a morale check for her, shall we?
Oh gosh, I can't wait till she fails that.
Let's see.
What is the basis morale a person can have? Like 6?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to roll under it, isn't it? So yeah,
Yeah, you have to roll under it to prevent yourself from fleeing.
So let's say, since you're giving her an order, I'll give her a bonus. So she's going with 8. So she has to roll under 8 on 2d6.
So she has the same morale of a terrified adult. Oh.
9. She clings to you.
Oh, God.
She doesn't want to go.
I grab her up. And my father's nearby, right?
Yes, he's nearby. He's appears to be trying to grab something to defend everyone. Like he's pulled up some kind of stake from the ground. It's
He has a very methodical, very focused approach to that, not panicked at all. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, there is a lost cause if I ever saw one. And then I think about what I could do to help him. Then I try to look for my older sister.
Your older sister is among a crowd of panicking people. There are some who are running, even without anyone telling. Your older sister turns to you. Get Molly and go!
I, stare at her for the half second of defiance I can bring to my soul before I just start pelting.
Oh.
Have we lost?
Boxer? Oh dear.
I'm back.
Okay, you're back. Sorry. So you start pelting.
I run pell-mell to anywhere that looks safe, and I hope to God they're not surrounding us.
Okay. You're heading straight for the tree line?
Yeah.
Roll me a sight check. A wisdom check, basically, perception.
Fair enough.
Is there anything you might,
I don't have any facts that help for this.
Yeah. You don't see the line of soldiers emerging from the woods
It's too late.
as they step towards you. There is an immensely fat man walking towards you. He's in the long, flowing crimson robes of a priest. He must be at least 7-8 foot tall. He's huge. And he's carrying a huge sword. I do love a wedding, he yells out, before slashing the sword down directly through your body.
Oh no. Well, the last thing I could possibly think is that this is so unfair.
And the last thing you hear is the screams of your small sister. And the bellowing laughter of this man.
Right.
And then everything goes dark. And it remains dark. And there's quite a lot of pain. And it's dark. And you appear to be awake.
This is taking so forever. And I'm awake. I open my eyes.
It's dark. Everything smells of the earth.
What? I sit up.
You can't. You're stuck.
Why am I stuck? I feel around, trying to figure out what's sticking me.
You can't move at all. You're weighed down. It's like 1,000 heavy blankets. In every inch of your body, it's weighing you down.
Well, do I feel panic?
I don't think you can. No.
Good. No. Alright, so I start trying to push my way up.
Okay.
'Cause I got to find my sister.
Then I'm going to switch positions once again. So, it is a dark night. Things have been busy in Threeport.
The dark. Sorry.
Shh! Don't reveal my stupid puns. But it's been a dark night. It's been busy in Threeport, the same as any night. You're overburdened with difficulties. Not only the cult a problem, but criminals are a problem. And there's so many different reports these days of different things. People are afraid of this mud killer that occasionally pops up. People are afraid of this ghost that they hear going through different parts. Everything's so busy. What is your character doing tonight, Quinton?
If it's a regular night, he might just be hovering around town, being on lookout.
Okay. Are you keeping more of a lookout towards the Touchstone Swamp, like we suggested? You might.
Yes.
Okay. Then.
Because if there's a killer that's going to Touchstone Swamp, I would like to keep an eye on it.
Then I want you to roll me a perception.
Yes, so a wisdom.
Most sexy of rules.
And will I have something because I am an educated watchman? Will I have a modifier?
You'll have a +4 because you're a watchman.
Nice. Wow.
How did you? No, you did a ++. You don't do +4. You just that's a 15. Yeah, that's a 15 you got. Don't worry.
Okay.
So yeah, it's so you do see the young child who is currently belting their way up the half-abandoned road towards Threeport, out of the Touchstone Swamp.
Let me just see. I won't do it. Do they look like they're injured, or...?
They look like Senna. They look like Senna.
What a coincidence, eh?
Yeah. She's...
Oh no.
She wants to prove herself. She's always wanted to prove herself to you. And she knows you've been watching that direction. She's probably gone out there to check things.
But yeah, is she carrying anything, or is she just walking back into the city?
She's just running. She seems a little afraid, but she's not being chased, and she's not carrying anything.
In that case, I think I'll just stay put and just keep watching.
Okay. Then
That's called the Watchmen that they do, man.
Senna effectively starts looking around to try and spot you. It's like she knows you're there. And she will eventually start bouncing up and down on her heels, waving her arms in the air, trying to get your attention. And the fact that you're looking at her doesn't seem to have, passed by very much. But yeah, she's obviously trying to get in contact with you. Her feet are filthy from that swamp.
I would like to argue that. I mean, I'm in the middle of the sky, in the night, clad in dark clothing.
Ah, okay. Let's give her a roll. 120 plus 1. Let's see. And so the check.
Wisdom check.
She got an 18.
Jesus
So
Christ.
she probably failed.
She she knows.
Don't you?
She knows like where you would be. At the very least, she's
Oh wait, no. It's over that's success, under that's failure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm
So-
thinking it backwards, AT&T.
So yeah, I mean, if she spots me and is trying to get my attention, then I will hover down there and find out what's up. Effectively.
Superhero.
Okie doke. And she'll be like out of breath, and she's grinning from ear to ear. Quinton, I saw her again. The bog lady, I saw her.
I grab her by the shoulders, just like, you need to stop this and head home.
Well, come on, she doesn't hurt kids. She goes into her clothing she's wearing and fuddles around and pulls out a very filthy looking stuffed animal. I got this from my house when I saw she was leaving. She's buggered off somewhere. She's gone. See, it's evidence, and she stuffs it into your hands.
I take it and they're just like, Senna, you need to head home. You know that the other three will worry if you're not home. Because it's in the middle of the night.
You were the perfect male wish fulfillment thing. Like, I just want your approval.
Okay, I'll go right home, but I got you evidence. There's bog witch out there. She like. Sorry.
I would like, if possible, if there are any birds nearby, just like ask one of them to keep a watch on her.
Do they talk to you, or do they follow your instructions?
Alright, can communicate freely with an alien, non-magical, will willingly harm them, and will obey even suicidal commands.
Since it says communicate freely, I suppose you can understand them. I'll go with that, because I like doing funny voices.
Oh no.
Sure.
Okay.
You're right. That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I essentially just like send. They will only follow it for about a scene's worth of time. So I'm basically just waiting until I'm making sure she got home.
Okie doke. Okay, so she'll start heading off into the city then. What are you going to do for now? Are you going to continue watching, or...?
I mean, I have to go out into the walk and try and find the witch and hand back whatever crap Senna stole from her.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to go return the... okay. Then...
So I'm going to fly into the swamp.
Okie doke.
Oh yeah, you literally can fly at all times, can't you?
Yeah. Bird. Birdman.
Jesus.
Nice.
It's the base power of the bird.
Yeah.
At this point...
And that's a really powerful thing for a word called bird.
I want you... Bird. I want you to...
Okay, I have to ask a serious question though. Do you have to flap your arms to fly?
Some would say I have, but I don't.
I imagine it's the Superman cape flick thing, because you've got the... Okay, so we are going to... I'm going to ask Foxo, could you do me a strength check?
Oh god, why do I always have to be so strong and weak?
And this will decide something. Okay, then I'm going to have to...
A good quality start, failing all my rolls.
Kerah,
Yes.
you have followed the scent of this need, this vengeance. It is emerging from the ground in the middle of a slightly... It's not muddy as the swamp, but it's like, this is obviously a bit of a ruined area.
Okay.
And so it's coming from the ground. And the thing is, this comes from people. You know the scent of vengeance. It comes from people. So, there's someone down there?
I think the pretty obvious answer then is dig like a dog.
Okie doke. Well, you're going to succeed eventually, but I want to grab a... I want to grab a strength check from you to see, like, how quickly you can achieve the digging.
With this sheet, you do just click the little dice, I assume?
Just click the little
dice.
dice.
Rather. Oh,
I'm assuming you would have no modifier.
no modifier?
No modifier. No modifier.
What you gotta do with digging? Oh my god, this is just beautiful.
It takes a while.
How are you that strong?
How are you that strong and still failed the roll? But yeah, it takes.
I guess fingernails weren't really designed for this kind of work.
Exactly.
I want to point out something to your hug. You know why effort's called effort?
Why?
Because anything a human being can do, a god could do. If a god requires effort to do it, then it requires their effort, and they can only have so much effort put into the world. I know that doesn't really make much sense semantically, but basically the reason why, if you go look at the rules under attributes, you'll see that anything a human being can do feasibly, a god can do easily.
Yeah.
Anything a human being would have difficulty doing, they have to roll for it, and everything else is effort.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I wanted to make it clear that it's going to succeed. This wouldn't fail.
These rolls are just determining the speed at which we, get where we're going.
Contextualize
the
efforts. I get that.
The strength check. The reason the strength check I had for you was to see if you were able
Any human being could feasibly rise out of the dirt.
Yeah, it was to basically try and...
It's heavy.
If you passed it, basically, when Kerah would have arrived, it would have been, like, pulsing as you try and force your way up out of the ground. Okay, well...
I'm just too angry to die.
The first thing you find is a sword hilt poking straight up towards the sky. But the vengeance is still further down, and the second thing you find, because at the time you've uncovered a sword hilt, is a very angry-looking face starting to emerge from the dirt.
That's encouraging.
Sade. Oh, my brain. Sade. Sade? So, how do you say it? Sade. Yeah, you feel the pressure alleviating steadily. There's a horrible pain in the middle of your torso. But with a little forcing upwards, you just make the dirt part around you. And you find yourself staring up at a mud-covered, antlered, rather decrepit-looking woman. So,
I'm guessing nothing like this has ever happened to me before.
you've never dug someone out of the ground, no?
Probably I'm just gonna stare at you with a slowly widening grin on my face.
I'm going to stare at you back, but a very slitted look from my eyes and a slowly widening grimace on my face. Like I'm trying not to scream directly into yours. Just like parallaxively. But eventually I'll grab the edges of the hole and try to pull myself out.
And unless you stop me, I will grab you by the arms and try to help you up.
I probably won't stop you.
Again, all without saying anything.
Right?
It's a bit awkward for the two of you, and it's good that you're helping her out of the hole, because the sword is still mostly lodged in your torso.
So, I'm going to, when I finally sit there, not breathing, obviously, I'm going to look at her, gesture at her very vaguely, spit out an entire wad of dirt and grime and worms, cough up some more and spit it out, and then grip the sword handle and say, "Can you help me with this?"
Yes, and I'll grab the hilt and just pull.
Oh god.
Okay,
I think it's reasonable to assume that if being buried alive with a sword stuck in you isn't going to kill you, this probably won't. It'll be fine.
This is gonna hurt like a bitch, though.
Blinking.
Okay,
It's gonna hurt. Yeah, I get that.
So I want
Besides,
you to roll me a fray die.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Do it hurt me.
Which one of us is rolling at?
Both of us. Let's do it.
No, let's say Prof. Prof rolls the fray die, because you're the one yanking the sword out. It's like injuring without intent. Oof.
Heck yeah.
That is 2 damage.
Inside. So I would like to point out one thing. My
Yeah.
hand is still on the sword, so once we rip it out with probably black viscera blood, I still have my hand on it with her, and I'm not making any motion to look like I'm recovering. Like, we ripped it out, there was a spray of ichor, and I still have my hand on it, and I'm not making any response as if that hurt, even though it really did.
The grin will probably slacken a bit, then just sorry.
The sword, which, by the way, if you know of it, it was looked like an executioner's sword. The very long, flat, like blades at the edge kind of sword. It's actually missing the end. It appears that perhaps in the first strike that you were hit by that very fat man, it broken you, which is why they left the sword in.
Where are we?
Was that in character?
Yeah.
I'll just look around and the swamp.
How far away is the swamp from the fort?
Just tilt my head at you, looking slightly confused.
I'm fine. Was there anyone else with me down there? Can you help me search?
But was there anything else, or?
You found some bones. That's about it. Some jewellery. Some very nice hair braids. Accessories.
Yeah, I probably won't say anything, and I'll just stop grinning.
When you start grinning, my eyes like narrow, and I say, "You found something, then, did you? Or am I the only one?"
Trying to figure out whether it would be helpful or cruel to reach down and lift one of the fragments of bone.
They are,
yes.
yeah. They are unfortunately within eye line. You didn't exactly think you'd need to hide them.
looking at them. I'm going to, like, remain completely, like, preternaturally still for a moment. And then say, I'm going to fucking kill him.
Yeah, that's, how do I describe just a look of something between sympathy and hunger?
That is a very unique expression. I don't think it would be anything but a blank face with a very fiery passion behind the eyes.
Focus and tension, let's say.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to get to my feet. Oh yeah, I took damage. Hang on. I gotta mark that. That'll be fine later, but for now, where is my hit points? Ah, okay. And then I'm going to, like, lean against the sword as I get up, because I'm guessing the end's broken off, but it's still fucking big, right?
Oh, it's a big
like,
sword. This was for a...
Like, how long are we describing here? Just give me the length.
Let's see, you broke the end off of a thing, so let's say it's like 5... yeah, it used to be 6 foot long, and now it's a 5 foot sword. It's missing a
so
foot.
from broken end to hilt, it's 5 feet, and
Yeah.
then the handle, or... Okay.
Yeah, broken end to hilt, it's 5 feet.
Okay, so that's a big-ass sword.
He was a big-ass guy, and he swung that thing with 2 hands.
So I don't look like I can carry it at all, but I'm not letting go of it. And I lean against it like it's like a bollard, I guess. And I say, so, if we're in the swamp, and the farm's nowhere nearby, and all my family's dead, where's the first person that is dressed in red that I can talk to?
I will point in the direction of, what's the town called? Freeport.
Freeport, yeah.
You've been very helpful. Can you take me there? I have a lot of people to talk to.
I can help you talk to them.
That'd be... Like, for the first time you ever see any, like, expression on my face, and it's all just excitement. That'd be great.
So, I will lead the way in that case, without another word.
Okay, then we're going to switch over to Quinton real quick. You fly across the swamp. You've made the best headway that anyone could ever achieve in this swamp. Everyone else has got to drag their feet through the muck, after all.
It's legitimate to fly 100 miles an hour.
Oh, yes. You managed to, after a bit of searching, you managed to find the ruins, with a brief description that Senna gave you of where she found it. See, the ruins did used to be a town. You knew where the town was, but, well, there was no real sign of anyone living there before. There was no, animals that had been caught in the area. There'd be no signs of, hunting or even, like, fires and stuff like that. There was no signs of life in that area. But after you see the tracks leading away, you were kind of realizing that something is out here. The witch or whatever it is that lives out here definitely isn't present at the moment, much like Senna said. But you can see their abode. It's the only thing that is still moderately standing right now. It's where she said she snatched that little toy from.
I would like to basically just put it at the doorstep, I think.
Okay.
And
I want you to... Are you looking in the windows, or are you just gonna, the windows, hole in the wall? You gonna look in the hole in the wall, or are you just going to, leave it and fly?
I mean, are there any lights inside? Or anything?
You are a god of night, I believe, so I think that doesn't matter for you.
No, but it's just to find out, okay, yeah. But yeah, in that case, then I think I would, place it and then just quickly look in.
Do me intelligence check, if possible. With a +4 because you're a detective.
Oh, sweet. that means my -1 modifier is gonna be amazing.
Oh dear.
Would you look at that?
Oh dear. There's a
I love it. I love how.
there's definitely a collection of different things in there, but it's strange because, you'd think that something that has been linked to some potential killings would have more of a grisly atmosphere, but, well, how about you describe your horde to us?
Yeah, it's more like an eclectic collection of knickknacks. There doesn't seem to really be a unifying theme. It's like a shawl here, a child's toy there, some cutlery that looks well used, all laid out in shelves occupying one of the walls. There is a cooking fire and a collection of pretty filthy crusted blankets at one side of the place, so there's not really a whole lot other. The central focus very much is the bunch of weird knickknacks.
Around the time that you're observing this area, the bird returns to your side. Uh-oh. Problem?
The way you said made me think of you turning your head like a bird.
Cult?
It's like,
Cult has Santa. Cult here. Cult here found witch. Cult coming here.
I hit off at the fastest I can go in a straight line for 3-port.
Okie doke.
Which means at some point I'm going to reach like 100 miles an hour.
just building up speed.
I mean, if I fly in a straight line, I reach 100 miles.
That is really freaking fast.
That's 160 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's really freaking fast.
Yep.
I don't think it's literally possible for if anything touched the ground at that speed not to tear itself apart without being properly built that way.
I mean, I'm not reaching a sonic boom just yet.
Fair enough. You would have to go literally like 4 times faster than that. But still, it's like, you know why elephants can't run? Because if they did and they trip, they die. Mass versus velocity is a very tricky physics when you're running.
And that's
especially when you're going that fast.
That's my excuse for no exercise. Okay. So around this time, Kerah and Kerah, you see something taking off rapidly from your hut into the distance towards 3-port.
Yeah, probably I'm just going to have to stop dead and stare in that case.
Okay.
Was that a friend of yours?
I don't have friends.
So an enemy.
Yeah, I'll just turn back and head off again. Faster this time.
Okay.
I dragging gigantic sword behind me. like not comically, but a little bit comically.
Okay, well, it is of course going to be our resident birdman who reaches them first. Because as you fly along, you do in fact notice that there is a party of cultists dragging along. Let's see if I can find an appropriate image for a little girl.
I was hoping for an actual party, but no.
No, those are difficult.
Cultists can be fun.
Let's see. Some of my old ones.
Especially cultists of distant Messias. They're really fun. Though the mortification of the flesh thing is weird. I don't really want to eat people.
Now you should all be able to see it. Yes, a lot of cultists are coming out here, and you can see that one of them has Sarah by the arm. And they're not, she's been kind of dragged along, obviously not really happy about this, and looking a little bit afraid. That's the symbol for Sarah, by the way. I didn't have anything else really, on hand. But yeah, the
yes, all their magical fire powers. I love it.
so,
That's gonna be a thing now. You don't know it.
So, the first person to arrive would be Quinton.
Yes.
Oh no.
And I'm up in the sky.
Yep. I've stuck you on the map.
Yes, I can see that.
They're talking rather loudly.
Oh my god, you took low intelligence because you're a bird brain.
Oh god.
Yeah, let's just say that.
So you arrive to the scene. They're talking rather loudly. They're going rather vocal as they go to each other. It's like you will lead the way, child. It's like back and forth to one another. Like, show us where the beast resides. So what would you like to do? They don't seem to have spotted you.
Yeah, but then for now, if they are not doing, like, if I know they're searching for something, then I would like to just hover about for now and try and stay out of sight.
Okie doke. Do me a stealthy check with a bonus because it's night.
What would that? I mean, typically that would just be them having a disadvantage on a spirit saving throw, I think. Because that's the one you typically use to, like, with deception, you have veiled steps. Then the person who tries to spot you needs to make a spirit saving throw.
If they're a worthy foe.
If they're a worthy foe. So do you want to use veiled steps so they can't see you, basically?
I don't have that, so essentially I'm just trying to lay low, but what would I roll if I were to make a stealth?
Dexterity to, like, blend in?
Yeah, probably dexterity plus whatever bonus.
Plus 4.
You get. There you go. Otherwise, those effort.
Would you look at that?
Constant things are like break.
My target is 4. I could not fuck this up.
Yes,
You can fuck it up, trust me.
Yeah, and 1 is always a failure.
And it's not just 1d20 plus 4, it's 1d20 plus... dexterity check. My brain, man. AD&D rules are weird. But
They really are. I do like the fact that you're right about that. There's no way to get above 19 attributes. The lowest the roll can be is 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always fail in a 1.
1 is always a failure. It's just in the rules.
Okay. They appear to be just continuing to walk on and go through the path, just dragging Sade along. There's
that building, I see.
Yes, well, one of them actually stops, like maybe it resides here, and literally lights the building on fire. Those torches aren't just for show.
Oh, this is gonna be amazing then. Because then I would like to react. I would like to
flap your arms and blow.
No, I'm gonna eat some effort into. I'm gonna throw some effort into the still silence of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Which says I choose a point inside, and I would like to pick this point right here.
Mm-hmm.
That any lesser foe within 50 feet of this point make a spirit saving throw. If they fail, they fall asleep, and I'm allowed to dictate their dreams.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
Lesser foe, did it say?
Yes.
You're level 1, there's no lesser foes that exist.
Well,
I thought
I
that.
mean, human civilians, maybe.
Yeah, but...
Sure, I remember reading the rules. It said anything your level or any below count as lesser foes unless they're Godbound. Or something like that.
Yes, basically anything with 1 hit die or lower
Okay.
is a lesser foe.
That...
Anything with 2 hit die is a worthy foe. Because we're not level 2 yet.
Yeah.
It does work though, because by level 10 there's no fucking way most things are...
yeah, because in that sense, a peasant isn't really a worthy foe.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hang on, just the
anyone capable of actually defending themselves will probably be worthy.
And these all do have 1 hit dice, indeed, because they're basic soldiers. So I'm going to roll how many now? 8?
I'm also gonna put Senna to sleep.
Oh,
And
okay.
Senna, so yeah, she would also be... Yeah.
I am targeting everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4...
Yeah.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now
Yeah,
where's...
that GM screen thing I sent you, it might give you an idea, or that monster table thing will give you an idea of what
Save. I just gotta do 10 saves. So 1... Ah dear, modifier is gonna happen every time.
Hey. Shit.
1 person succeeding, 2 people failing.
I mean, I'm liking this
Now
so
that's a
much.
little little messed up.
And 1, 2, 3, 4,
Three.
5.
Made it.
Hang on.
No, so far 2 succeeded. 3 succeeded.
Oh, yeah.
6,
4.
7, 8.
6. Well, you got one
There are
third.
only 6
Not
now.
bad.
1, 2,
Hang on.
3, 4,
1, 2,
5, 6.
6,
Yeah, only 6 succeeded.
9, 10.
Well, that's a
11.
lot. That's more than half.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that was, though.
I will say
There's one of them is Senna.
You know,
well, yeah, the Senna was the last one actually. So
Oh, she's
She
still awake.
doesn't fall asleep. She's like,
see,
oh,
she is canny to your ways. So let's see, 6 are awake. So her, him, oh, those last 3 all did it. So awake, awake, awake. Awake, 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 and I'll just mark these lot as.
I can't stay awake for a single second.
And I mean, of course, they're all having like horrible, horrible nightmares of what is to come.
That's right.
So being beaten to death with bloody fists. I get you.
Yeah. I mean, if any of you watch like Naruto,
Sometimes.
yeah, there is one of the Sharingan that basically just like have him on a cross being stabbed multiple times.
Oh yeah, the Sharingan Infinite
Yeah,
Understanding, where you
effectively
just
something
1
akin to
hour
that.
for 1,000 years of death.
Yeah.
So they're basically just seeing themselves as the moon is steadily glowing, getting bigger and bigger as it's slowly crushing them into the ground.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
Ar-
horrific.
Around
And
the
then they
time,
wake up in a dream.
around the time that
That's a
the
dream.
Yeah.
oh jeez,
Brutal.
around
That is
the
brutal. What? When do they wake up?
They
When
don't.
you decide they do? Okay.
Yeah.
especially because night can mean that you just decide when they wake up, basically.
I never involuntarily wake people.
Yep. So
Oh,
around
that's so
then.
basic.
Around the time that the screams start from the nightmares, is when Kerah and Sade show up. So yes, you can watch like a bunch of these people as you see the ruined church go up in flames in the distance, and then a bunch of people just collapse to the floor, unconscious. Now, fire is definitely not something that you're a fan of. Kerah.
Oh no, definitely not.
And the only thing I have to say is, I can't believe these people are qualified enough to kill me.
They are all wearing various red robes as well,
Yeah, that's
So-
why I'm going to kill them. Though.
except for the
Well,
young
most
girl.
of them. You better not get in the way then.
Probably shouldn't make that mix up. That could be awkward.
Well, I actually do have the protection word, so if she seems like a victim, then I'll have to protect. Who the fuck is calling me right now from the 727 area?
I mean, the real question that I have is, can I get enough bird to fly her away?
Enough birds? Oh my god! Just like, just grabbed from every angle by very sharp talons as you're both swinging away.
They should like form a carpet underneath her and just fly off.
Did you need to
also
take
good
a
idea.
Did you need to take a call, Foxer?
No, it's from a 727. They could fucking leave me a message if they want to talk to me.
Okie doke.
I don't
Yeah.
know where that is. I'm gonna have to check.
So there's a moment of panic as everyone goes and witchcraft cries from the cultists, and your little sister yells Quinton, and she knows that this is something that you can do. And now I'd like to start initiative.
Oh yes. Do you know how initiative's handled?
Yeah, all you guys go first, and then they go next.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go.
Oh, neat.
Yep.
So basically, it's more like who wants to go first. We
Indeed.
could also like use dexterity, but we could just decide.
Yeah.
Because we're gods, we get to do that shit.
So
I want to go first, by the way.
how far can I travel? Who can
Yeah, that's
I
a good
whack
point.
first?
That's a good point. How far can one travel
The baseline is 30 feet, I believe.
Mhm.
for a normal human being?
Yeah.
I've never really been able to figure it out.
I think it's 30 feet for like one thing for
I don't see anything on the sheet about movement
Yeah,
rate or
movement.
anything.
Yeah.
The only thing it has to say about movement rate is that for a normal mortal human being, it moves at 30 feet. That's it. That's all I can find.
Yeah, but other creatures might be switched up.
7 years I've been playing this stupid game.
But I mean, I think baseline would be that we are, movement-wise, considered normal.
Yeah.
Unless you have a talent or gift that says otherwise.
Such as letting you fly, for instance, at 100 miles an hour with attention.
Yeah.
My flight speed is also doubled, so I can fly 60 feet.
You big old jerk.
Okay.
And it makes sense, though. It does. Also, it's basically D&D, 6-round combats. I mean, 6-second combats.
Indeed.
I
So,
can also commit effort to share my flying gift with you.
Oh, really?
so what would you like to do?
So that depends. Who's going first?
I'll go third, it's fine. You two go first.
Okay. I think Mr. Birdman should go first, since he already has an idea of where everything is.
The ones marked with the faces are asleep, by the way.
Yep.
So they're the ones that die first or last, depending on how spicy you're feeling.
I could. Right. And I'm assuming my reach is the 5 feet,
I
so that
guess
should be good.
Mm-hmm.
I lose these things.
Can I interact with my own token? I cannot.
Should be able to, but I'll,
Yeah, the permissions got weird, so...
Permission.
I can interact in mine, so there we go.
Control by... Oh, okay, I got it.
Where is my god?
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I beeline over here, because that should be within my 60 feet of movement.
Yep.
And then I'm essentially gonna drop with my halberd on this poor guy right here, who's dragging my little sister.
Okie doke.
He's cleaved in half. I was like, take that. Oh yeah, of course the Godbound book is in the Godbound folder. I'm such a genius.
So I'm assuming, what's his AC?
His AC is just double checking. His AC is 8.
8. Okay.
Sexy boy.
And I have no alternate attack bonuses, so I whiff as I fall, as a modest fall from the sky trying to hit him.
Witch! He bellows as you dive out of the sky. They don't know what this person looks like. Okay.
Obviously he's a witch. He's flying around and shit like a bird.
Sade?
Yeah.
Oh, me, yes. So, I see this guy helping us murder some people, which is fair. I gently look around, like, just gently as I walk forward. How fucking far is all this, anyway? This is 5 foot squares, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna walk up to them and say, like, as I watch them screaming and running around and, like, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, is just, like, kindly wave as I invoke a miracle of, what is it called? Wrath, I believe? Hang on.
Vengeance or
The Corona of
there's a
Wrath.
specific set word called Corona of Fury.
That's it.
There we go.
oh yeah.
So 30 feet on a point on this side. Yeah, that seems about right. So, you know, all those guys in that area must make me a saving throw today.
Hang on.
You will torrent
Where
of
was
the
it?
worst energy at group affecting all. Each victim take 1d8 for every 2 level rounded up.
So,
Victims get an appropriate saving throw to resist the effect.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
so
So
basically,
what?
I'm using the word of swords, and I'm going to wave kindly as a bunch of gigantic executioner swords rise out of the ground to strike them in the chest.
Okay, so that's
Or
8.
bicep
Nice.
them. So, you want me to roll 10d8 or something? Also, I could choose who get hit, so all the guys lying on the ground screaming, I'm not going to do it to them, and I'm not going to do it to the flying boy.
Okay, so not the people on the ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And they have to make a save, right?
They get a save to resist the effect.
The victims, they get, yeah. So, whatever save you feel is appropriate, which would probably
I only have
be a
saves,
wisdom
so.
save or awareness.
Maybe.
One of the two.
NPCs only have like saves.
Oh, they only have saves.
Yeah, they only have just save.
I've been
So
building my NPCs all wrong. So,
2 successes. So Tell me the damage to the ones that's failed.
So,
Let's 1d8 per person.
yeah.
Okay.
Of every 2 levels rounded up.
Yeah.
So would that be 2d? Oh no, okay, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you have
Third
1d8.
level it would be 3d8 or something. Yeah, 2d8.
Okay, so
yeah, you want me to roll it or?
damage wise, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was
It's
curious.
only hits 3 of them, I'm afraid.
Wait. Question: would I have gotten my Frey die on these people?
Oh yeah, let's say you got a
Yes.
Frey die. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone should. They get to roll it whenever it's their turn, and this also often
Oops.
happens with Godbound, so you just like,
Yeah.
I did that.
I
like,
deal
oh yeah,
2 damage
I
to the
forgot
first
I
sucker.
could kill
2 damage to which one? Oh, to that one. So,
Yeah.
okie doke.
Well,
Well,
with whom I missed.
how would you describe your Frey damage killing him? Do you want to kill him, or do you want to like
Oh yeah,
unconscious
I'm
him?
gonna
Okay.
most definitely. And it's I think it's like a combination of like dark and birds.
Mm.
So essentially,
Nice.
it's just like either a bird comes in and like plucks his eye out or something, or it's basically just like the darkness that's trying to murder him one way or another.
I like the idea that the from inside your cloak, the crow that you were talking to earlier just flaps out and like
Torpedoes him.
yeah, and flaps away. Okay. Well, I'll go for the from the top. So unfortunately, 2 of them still work. So two of these guys are dead by corona.
Okay. Oh, well, I didn't roll it yet.
Yeah. Well, probably.
They could take literally no damage. And
Indeed.
secondly, it's not going to kill them.
Okie doke.
If it does hurt them or kill them, it will just what it's going to do is cut their literal will to fight
Mm.
in half. Because I'm a fear sword person.
Okie doke.
Oh right, if you have fear, you also reduce their morale.
Yeah. So that's I think 2, 2, and 1.
2, 2, and 1. Well, that's still enough to down them all. So,
So big ass swords literally bisect them, but they feel no pain, only immense fear, cowardice, and an inability to act. An incapacitating terror.
oh, so it was only for 2 of them because one of the guys who failed already got killed.
So the first 2 is just 2 damage.
Yeah.
They're
that
just basically, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't show blood. It just like all of a sudden they don't want to fight because they're too scared to move. They're in shock.
yeah. You see them clutching at their stomachs and letting out screams, dropping their torches, and becoming lost in the middle of a swampy area with a sword in their belly, with their light source gone. They're panicking like anything, so they are too busy, having a panic to do anything. Now you also have your Frey die.
Corporeal.
Also, Frey die.
Some
And that's
poor
gonna be
soul
on this
takes
one.
1 damage.
Whoops. That's going to be on this one. And I'm just going to reach over and grip his very mortal terror and squeeze it. Until
Fun.
he's too afraid to act.
Hooray!
My question
I'm
is,
doing a
are
very
the swords,
strong Elvish Palpatine vibe for this character.
I mean, are the swords you conjured incorporeal or not?
I guess not in this case. They're very real.
Mm.
They just don't hurt.
Fair
And
enough.
they should disappear after the scene is over or after a few seconds. Whichever one the GM wants.
Okay. Kerah, it's your turn.
Okay. If I step about here,
Mm.
if that pinged,
Yeah.
could I see this pile asleep in here?
Yes, quite easily.
Okay, then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to... Alright, let me remember the proper terminology here. Commit effort for the scene,
Okay.
Speaking of it,
and use my lovely Woe to the Guilty ability.
What's Woe to the Guilty do?
Let me just read. Your gaze and presence become a heart-rending weapon, doing 1d10 emotional damage to a visible target on a successful hit. The target is resumed. Can I do that from a distance? It says on sight, so I don't know.
Yeah, on site.
That would be quite
so
fine.
you can do it.
Okay, so I should roll an attack, I presume.
Yeah. And you can attack with strength if you want, or it depends whatever you want to attack with, because it's a magical attack.
Oh, I think I actually didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah.
You can use any attribute.
Well,
Then I'm going to attack with wisdom. So what should I roll for that? I've got like a set attack for melee. Should I use that and just put wisdom for the attribute, or what?
Yeah, well, it'd be best to make yourself a new attack that's basically using this ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Probably should have done that earlier. Whoops.
It's all right. This is why we're doing the beginning session, so everyone can have a little go at it. So yeah, this was which one was this called for now?
Woe to the guilty.
Delightful.
What?
Oh, and by the way, the reason why I'm incapacitating them with fear is because it's a bit metagamey, but my character's based around making people afraid rather than killing them, unless she does kill them. That way, she can manipulate them later.
That's what I'm done with them.
Manipulate, terrorize, torture. It's basically all the same word.
Okay.
I see we're all coming from a very similar place here.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm not saying I can blind people indefinitely.
Okay.
Alright, I think this is set up correct, so I'm just gonna... What's the target AC?
Target AC is 8.
I presume I don't have any miscellaneous attack bonus?
No.
Yeah, it should automatically auto.
Hooray!
Lovely.
Hey,
So,
dead.
is he dead or is he incapacitated?
Oh, he's dead. He's
Okay.
very dead.
He just suddenly
So,
goes in
what's
a
the
wrong
description
sense
for
of-
Woe to the Guilty again? Like,
I
how...
will now read the rest of it since it applies.
Yeah.
I presume it does anyway. The target is reduced to 0 hit points. Does that apply?
Yeah.
They regain 1 hit point and become your utter thrall for 24 hours, performing even suicidal acts.
Ooh, lovely.
That's baller.
What is this part of?
I
One
wish
might
I
ask.
It's adapted from Lich, I believe. I've just changed some of the words to flavor basic.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's part of Lich, because we made the custom Bog Witch thing, which is combining Lich and Fairy Queen.
That's cool.
But it's just the Lich ability, effectively.
That's basically what you're supposed to do with Godbound. It's very modular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a little thrall token for this guy. He is awake now as well, because
Yeah,
you
so
basically...
basically I would have just strode forward and stared at him, and he'd have gotten up again with a weird purple corona.
He's more awake than he's ever been in his life.
Yeah, you did just basically nightmare him to death, because as you stared at him, he saw the stare in his dreams, and just, you Freddy Kruegered this guy, alright?
That's all I ever set out to do. It's all good.
He just sees himself surrounded in darkness, and then suddenly a pair of glowing eyes just sees him in his own mind, and then he just wakes up.
You appear in his nightmare mounted upon the nightmare caribou, and
Just like I was told to do.
you also have a frayed eye.
Oh yeah.
So you just roll that, it just does damage.
And hopefully murder this bitch over here.
Any lesser foe will automatically-
This guy is awake,
Damn.
so would you like to hit the awake guy?
Not anymore.
yeah. I was just gonna hit, if he's awake, he's probably wishing he wasn't.
Okie doke. Yeah. He looks around and he he's staring at what he thinks is the Bog Witch, which is Quinton, because you've just descended out of the sky. He's gripping hold onto Senna, and he's like, "You come any closer, and his eyes just drift into the background, and sees you standing there in the moonlight, just staring at him.
Does it really matter how we're flavouring our frayed eye?
No, whatever.
I was thinking fear, but I don't want to step on your toes, so let's just go with their lungs fill up with mud.
Oh, damn.
So
That is brutal.
he's just standing there, and then you see him just choke, and mud sprays out, and Senna flinches back as a bit kind of gets on her because he was holding on to her, and she pauses, and then he just chokes and falls over and collapses.
So in less than 6 seconds, we pretty much destroyed all of them.
Hey, 3 of them are technically still alive.
Yeah.
Hey, 7 of them are, well, 6.
Yeah, the ones with the little mind break icon. Those are the.
Yeah, those are the guys that.
He's a thrall.
Yeah, and he's a thrall.
He's thralled.
I think, will he die again afterwards, or does he remain a thrall forever?
For 24 hours, and I believe that it doesn't say that he collapses after that, but I guess he does. So luckily, I have another ability to bind him on a more permanent basis.
Heck yeah. Anyway, so I walk forward, dragging my sword, and I point at Senna as like, "Are you dangerous?"
It is Senna's turn, by the way, and
Oh,
but
yeah,
yeah.
no, I mean, if this combat's still going, we could totally take out Senna.
But yeah, Senna just sits there and like stares at you and like, "You're not the Bog Witch."
No.
Quinton.
I look at Sade, and then I look at the people with whom now have, assuming still have swords in their stomachs.
Don't worry about them, just don't kill them. I say as I walk over to one, or at least don't kill all of them. Don't kill this one.
I'm assuming you're responsible.
You say that right as we're about to like rip one of their throats out. So yeah, slightly guilty stopping where I am.
It's like literally holding some guy's throat, like the entire esophagus.
Quick question: how far is it from here to the city?
Let's say it's about 10 miles.
Okay.
I'm going to lift this one up. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. And I'm going to look into his eyes, and I'm going to shake him like a little bit. I'm going to say, "Are you afraid? How afraid are you?"
He appears to have solved
And then I'm going
himself.
to know the fear within, which is a thing I can do as an action.
Okay.
Which allows me to study him for my relevant interests, to know his exact fear and how I need to use it. I'm going to say, what I want to do is to scare him into running back to town to a superior.
Okay. Okay. You see that he's terrified of angels. Now, in Godbound, of course, angels are a terrible, destructive force. Yeah, heaven is empty, and heaven is empty of God, and angels basically went insane, and they just are absolutely like they
void of light, John.
yeah they love to put people into hell. Because heaven doesn't really properly exist.
Because they're just kind of assholes.
Yeah, so he's terrified of angels.
Okay, so I'm going to turn that fear up to fucking 11 because I can do that. I can actually make people not afraid too. But we're not doing that right now. And I'm going to pull the sword that doesn't hurt out of him and tell him, "Go." And I'm going to say that there's fear. Angels all behind me, and he better get like back to his superior.
Okay, yeah, he runs screaming off into the distance. As fast as he can, which isn't very fast, because
Don't kill him. I need him.
Is it because you want his superior?
I just want to know where he's going.
Because I have one of the many, so I assume I would automatically sense his superior in town.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you'd be able to sense who would be his superior.
Yeah. But for now,
So what's with the... Sorry.
What's with the girl?
No, I was going to say, what's with the cultists?
Oh, yeah, for now, she's like, I'll return shortly. And then I pick up Senna and then I head off into town.
I wave. Like, finger wave. like, hello, bye-bye.
She's clinging tight to you. She's kind of terrified.
And then, of course, I also give her a stern lecture of why, as of to why this is the reason she should stay at home.
She responds by crying.
So, as I turn to the bog witch, I'm going to be like, do we kill the rest of them?
Oh, I was just about to say, unless you stop me, I'm already going to go about ritually dismembering them.
I just sit there checking my fingernails.
Yeah, I got a theme I gotta stick to here.
So you ritualistically kill most of them while that guy watches, unable to do anything but obey. And I walk up to him and I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so violent. I know you've been through a lot. But you've done things that are wrong and you have to pay for them. Of course he can't do anything but what you tell him to, though. Unless he
He's
can.
repaying the debt now.
Fair enough. Besides, he doesn't look like much. So where are we?
We're outside Threeport.
No, I was asking the Bog Witch.
Oh, okay.
To be honest with you, I didn't really think about that application. It does say they become my other thrall, so can I just walk up and say, "Tell us where we are"?
Okay.
Yeah, totally do that, couldn't you? That's the thing about it, is that, against really strong foes, it's not likely to work because you have to beat the shit out of them, but it still could work.
And it has to be the landing blow as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's totally balanced.
We're outside Threeport. Near the
Nice
swamp.
job explaining that situation. Can you ask him?
Tell her everything she wants to know.
I kind of plan to do that anyway. She stabbed people.
I didn't stab anyone.
It was
I
dark.
stabbed a few people, but not with. I didn't do it with. Anyway.
Okay.
I need to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Who are you? What do you believe in? How did you get here? That's 3, not a couple, but still.
I'm Corporal Initiative Danvers. I've been.
No, you're Thrall of the Bog Witch, but go on.
Dead men don't need name.
Am I dead?
You're
Ew.
going to die.
He seems to be having difficulty processing this right now,
That's why we said it.
and he looks over at towards Quinton as kind of like an almost
Oh no!
help me, but then he just looks away at that.
Didn't Quinton fly away or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not here right now.
With Sade.
Yeah.
I'm willing to allow him enough autonomy to feel fear and existential dread.
And I'm willing to crush it.
What was the question again? I've forgotten.
Where are we? How did you get here to this place in time? Tell me your life story.
I came
And
over.
I'll just sit here so we don't have to roleplay through his entire fucking ordeal.
Yeah.
And you can just tell me.
Yeah, he's a low-level initiate in the town. He used to be a member of Threeport criminal gangs, but decided that he just wanted to kind of have more autonomy than even that, and they can get away with a lot in the church, so he joined up. He doesn't even really believe in the church, which is why he's still an initiate, but he's kind of vaguely involved in it. Yeah.
So I have a question to ask you again. Are you afraid to die?
I suppose I am. Generally,
Well, don't
people
worry.
are.
Don't worry. When you die, all you see is an endless black void of nothing and pain.
I could have done without the pain part.
Don't worry, you get used to it. I say as I walk away, checking these guys for like valuables and identification, trying to figure out where the fuck am I?
You don't find much. Couple of coins. That's about it.
I toss them into the swamp.
Yeah.
I don't need to eat or anything.
The church that's burning. You see Touchstone Memorial Church written on it. Apparently part of the village that used to be here before. You remember Touchstone, actually?
Weird. Touchstone. Where was that in my memory? Do I need to roll to remember my dead brain memories?
No,
If I am even dead.
Touchstone was just village up north. It did some trading with you guys. That's about it. Now, one of your prospective suitors was from that direction, but his family couldn't make the trip, so he didn't die with you. So it's Touchstone was just a village, and now it's a set of ruins, and they're burning the church.
So I place my sword point down onto the swamp floor.
It doesn't have a
both
point.
my hands on it, and I watch the church burning, and I ask the body witch out loud, "Can I get your help in killing a lot of people that deserve it?"
I will look at you for a long time, expressionless, and finally just respond, yes.
Excellent. That's all I need. And then I'm going to know the fear within. Not know the fear within, sorry. I'm going to activate I'm going to miracle the ability, the coward inside. Any person I have personally scared or made a morale check, or induced a morale check, I can then perceive everything they see, everything they hear, and everything they feel, and they're completely unaware I'm doing it.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I can also, if I want to, appear right behind them at any time. 10 miles per level.
But yeah, I'm assuming I don't take much more time as I'm flying.
No,
getting back.
you're probably not going like the full 100 miles an hour, because that would probably send his hair off. But
Of course, not when I'm heading back to the city, but when I'm heading back to the swamp.
You should be arriving around now if you want to pop your character wherever that would be.
Yeah. So I would like to, as I fly over here, spot these people sleeping, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they've all been murdered, haven't they?
Quite gruesomely, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, in that case, never mind.
Except for this guy standing there probably crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
like that kind of horrified crying you only get from PTSD.
Yeah.
Like you're just open-eyed and not saying anything and weeping silently.
1,000 yards stare, freely flowing tears kind of thing.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm so tempted to spoil your plan by grabbing the guy who's running away.
It's just and you brought it back. I'm like, well, that helped.
No. My plan was to grab him on the way here and then just casually drop him from, like up high.
So would you like to do that? Or?
Accidentally dropping my halberd as well.
Right on top of it.
Yeah.
Directly straight down. That sounds fun. You should really take Sky as a word because you get
Oh,
so
yeah, I'm
much
planning on
stuff
doing
to
that as the
draw
next
upon
thing.
people.
That is my plan for
Anyway.
the next thing.
Anyway, yeah, so I look over to
Quinton.
Birdman. I don't know his name.
Harvey
I'm
Birdman.
like, so who are you?
Name's Quinton. I'm a watchman of Threeport.
Do all watchmen fly?
Depends on who you ask.
So you protect people.
I do it as my job.
You're a guard.
I once was.
Can I get your help?
I'll do my best.
Someone killed me, and I need to find them.
Okay, revenge.
Always up for getting revenge on people who has it coming.
Alright, thank you very much. Now give me 1 second. And then I'm going to look through the eyes of the man I sent ring.
Okay. You see a lot of darkness. He doesn't appear to have immediately run back to his superiors. The taste of burning whiskey in your mouth tells you that he's rapidly attempting to get himself drunk. There's something also as well that's like fraying at your brain. He appears to have taken something that's not exactly the best for keeping himself, conscious. So yeah, he's taking a load of narcotics and chugging down alcohol. Honestly, you might not even have to kill this guy. He might do it himself in sheer fear through the amount of stuff that he has on him.
Hang on then. So I'm out of effort for the entire day, actually. Well, for the entire day, but I'm fine with that. None of my abilities actually use effort. I just miracle everything. So I'm going to,
Does that mean the scene is over?
Yes, the scene is over.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to induce mortal terror into him for the next 24 hours that angels are coming for him, and then leave him be.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn to them and say, so what's the plan?
I mean,
How do we
if
find these people?
you want my help getting vengeance, if you can help me get vengeance as well, it will be a lot easier.
You want revenge?
Like, for the first time ever, I laugh, I'm saying, like, I'll just kill anyone you tell me to, man.
They kidnapped my sister, and for that they gotta pay.
Can I
So,
go?
how many are there?
No, you stay where you are. You think about the wrongs you've committed.
Oh, that's going to take ages.
People
I
don't
know,
know that
it's-
actions have consequences.
Also, we talked about them. You're a very bad man. You know, they had families. They had people. And you had people that loved you too. And they all made a thing that worked together, and you broke that trust to hurt them. So you can stand there, and you can shut the fuck up. Excuse me.
At this point, I'm probably just sniffing the air around me with pleasure.
And I look over to Quinton and I'm saying, alright, so they took your sister. Your sister's safe, right?
No, I got her back to the city. She should be safe.
Okay. So just lead us to where you want us to go and we'll kill everyone there. Right? Whoever you are. I say to the Bog Witch.
Yeah, almost as an afterthought. Yes, Kerah. Yes.
Terror. Got it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna correct that.
I couldn't. Like, I'm not genuinely sure if she couldn't hear you or if she just is making shit up as she goes. So,
This is the longest conversation I've had in like a decade.
so I turned to Quinton again and like, okay, let's go kill some people or kill them.
Do we still need the thrall? I ask questioningly as I look at him.
I'll just let it die.
It's like just rolls up and just dies.
Yeah. I'll just shrug and say I can make another one if we need.
I would like to commit effort to Stormbloom's swiftness, which allow all of us to fly at up to 100 miles an hour.
Okay.
So I start flying this like my sword's too heavy to lift. So I'm counterbalanced against it, like just hanging straight down. And I have to really, really fucking try hard to get it on my back before I can take off with you guys. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just too heavy for me. Way too fucking heavy. But I just won't let it go at all, no matter how much anyone would like to make me.
But yeah, I suggest we head back to the city and find these people's superior.
Finish the great work.
Yeah, exactly.
What she said.
And then fly towards the city.
Yep. This is gonna be fun.
3-4.
Oh god. That was brutal as hell.
Threeport has never actually had an aerial invasion before.
It's not very common, I would imagine.
It's
And it's never been an invasion of just 3 people who can kill all of them.
So yeah, there's as you fly over, as you can see, it's not a walled city, so the patrols are quite difficult at times. But it's quite a sprawling one with quite a few large houses in the area that seems to be relatively well off. But you also know, Quinton, that this place is more run down than people think. At first glance, it seems all right, but Threeport has been suffering from the lack of any external traffic and trade recently. It used to be quite a prosperous city, even outpacing Mural, but now it's been dying off steadily as Mural's becoming the trade capital. But
Nice exterior, horrible interior.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I have one of many that allows me to know automatically sense the major figures of the city and the location and their role.
Oh god.
So I mean, I would like to arrive at this.
Unstoppable in the city.
I would like to arrive at this poor guy's doorstep. in the middle of the night with just
so,
two.
are you going for his direct superior or the superior of the entire church?
I'll work my way up.
Okay. Okay, so you arrive at the superior's house. It is in the let's say Autumn district.
Yeah. Are the lights on?
They are not.
Perfect.
I'm going to gently lay my sword against the wall next to the door and say, it's very rude to enter places with your weapon.
Now, if you would excuse me a second, I would like to just phase through the wall
Okie
into
doke.
his house,
Again.
because Sade allows me to just walk through walls as if they're non-existing.
Okie doke.
So yeah, I basically just walk into his house and find him where he's most likely sleeping, I would assume.
Yeah, he's asleep in his.
So what do you think about Quinton?
So yeah,
He's kind of cute.
as I won't wake him up, I basically just like grab him by the collar and just drag him across the floor out to the front door and just throws him at the other people.
That's fine though.
And he doesn't wake up.
Yeah,
Oh, there he is.
still asleep. The front door opens and the gentleman you're after gets thrown out onto the street, and he hits the pavement rather hard, actually, for being, he's a bit on the older side, this one.
So, order of events. Terror, you can kill him. And you can talk to him. And I'll scare the shit out of him.
I mean, I don't really care. I just mean, we could also just knock his head on a pike for all that I care.
I mean, you know where the rest of them are?
I mean, I would assume I know what the rest of them are.
I mean, rest of what exactly? Because there's a good few,
Everyone we're going to kill.
members of the church. I mean, there is like steadily working upwards. There's quite a few of the basic guys. This is just like the first rung up in the ladder, and there's a good few ladder rungs along the way. So yeah, you do know that a lot of them are gathered in Goldspire Hospital, sorry.
Yep.
Like they do a lot of work around there. So.
But yeah, so I mean, the best plan here would be to just find out who either sent the cultists or who are in charge of them.
Do you want to talk to him, or should I?
I'll leave it up to you. I mean, you seem like do a good job at getting the truth out of people.
Fair enough. I say as I grip him by the lapels, and I hold him out to Quinton, who's like, okay, wake him up. I don't know how he does it, so I just assume that he has to touch him or something.
I mean, the moment you probably grab him by the collar, because if you were sleeping and somebody grabbed you by the collar, they would most likely wake
don't
up.
You have like complete control over that kind of thing, though? They don't wake up unless you want them to.
Unless he
right?
wants them to.
That is, my actions will never involuntarily awake people.
Oh, okay. So when I lift him up, he wakes up.
Yeah, he wakes up. So he
looks. Do remember, everyone suffers a -2 penalty upon
Oh yeah.
The president.
So he goes. What's going on?
I smile at him with the dirt and blood in my teeth. I say, hi.
Are you here for the homeless program?
No, sir. I'm here to ask you a question.
Okay.
Where should I go to find out who sent the party to go kill the Fog Witch?
Fog Witch?
Why was there a low hiss at this point?
The Fog Witch. Right,
Yeah, that one right there. I say as I nod my head over to Terror.
Yeah.
Just quiet, you can still fly.
She had...
Oh yeah, and then I lift myself up with him, I guess. Because that's scary as shit.
like his feet are dangling, like his slippered feet are dangling in the, so that there's a moment. Look, we've had a bounty on her for a while. She's menace. She's been killing good few of our members over the years. But that, what do you mean?
I'll point out something very simple to you, sir. You're either going to exactly about to die for any crimes you've committed, or you're going to tell us where we can find people that hurt other people. You get those two options and no other.
I'm happy to work with you. Trust me, I'm happy to help you find people who have hurt others.
And then if we find out that you have hurt anyone at any time, we'll make the death very slow and piecemeal. And I slowly float down to the ground and put him down. Don't go anywhere.
I don't think I can. He's leaning against the wall.
Is this poor fellow a lesser foe? Just out of question.
No, I don't think he'd be a lesser foe.
Okay.
Okay, I turn to Quinton and I ask, hey, so you know where they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look over the bog witch and I nod a little bit. Okay. And I turn to old guy, I guess, or old priest guy.
He's in his 50s, but that's ancient for you guys because you're all in your 20s.
I'm younger than 20.
19.
Anyway, I turn to him.
Just because you've been dead for 8 years. But...
That doesn't count chronologically anymore. Anyway, I turn to him and I say, so, if the bog witch has a bounty, which is feasibly understandable in the very act of justice and vengeance, where exactly can I look for someone that would say, want her to die for gain rather than justice? Or, let me put it more simply, who's the most evil fucker you work for so I can rip his throat out through his ass?
I think that, we just do good services at the church, I promise you, it's...
I literally slam my fist in the door and I say, don't lie to me!
If you want the head of the church, and that's going to be is it the head? Yes. Look, there's Dr. Cleese does some rather terrible stuff. Yes, go talk to Dr. Cleese. And there's criminals. There's criminals in the area. You could go deal with the criminals. They're getting children. You know, they're having lots.
Really?
Yeah, lots of children working for them these days. They're extorting people.
Where?
West Dock. Lots of stuff down there. I don't know.
That's enough.
Okay.
Stop. I'll be watching you. I will always be watching you.
Okay.
Not to step out of line. And I pick up my big ass sword and I turn to Quinton. So you want to go to West Dock or Dr. Cleese's house?
I mean, might as well pay him a quick visit and see what he's up to.
Okay. I guess we're not killing him this time, Terror.
I mean,
We'll kill the next guy.
keep an eye on him.
I'm leaning close to him and just say, behave.
Okay.
And then as we take off, I would like to just, on my turn, use word on the street and just, when we're out of sight, I'll just whisper, I'll always be watching.
Why isn't it?
Sounds very nice.
I love this shit. I love how we're just... We're really built well for this, aren't we?
If he's a worthy foe, though, he can get the chance to resist with a spirit saving throw.
I'll see.
Resist being whispered at?
Yeah, because word on the street allows me to speak to or eavesdrop on any person within the city, provided I have met them.
He failed.
Actually, sorry, within any city.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, so he said, okay, I'm just going to go to bed again.
Oh, I love it. That's so great.
Yeah, we synergize quite nicely on Kerah campaigns.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Terrified of
Basically
50.
like some form of inquisition with no specific goal.
Oh, God.
Pretty much what I was here to do.
Oh, dear.
Process. Like,
We
are you
are
guilty?
basically
Like, hopefully not.
we are basically spawned.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're flying to Dr. Cleese's house, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Cleese's house actually isn't that far because Orton's a pretty nice district, so that's where a lot of the more important people wind up. So yeah, it's not that far away.
Okay. Okay, so while we're flying over his house, I'm going to ask, so are we drawing straws to see who gets to rip him out of the house now, or are you going to do it again, Quinton?
I mean, we could just drag him up into the sky instead.
I mean, yeah, but I want to do it first. I mean, I'm sure Kerah wants to hurt someone, right, Kerah?
I mean, sure.
I think you deserve to use your hands after having them in the ground so long.
Okay, you're right, and I drop my sword to the ground, like the 50 feet below, and then I drop it because trust me, I don't have to worry about any of that. And I fly directly at his house to crash to the roof.
Okay. Well, I
Sorry,
mean,
no, I need to check something if you start doing that. So I'm gonna roll 1d6 to decide if I'm gonna do it or not. I am not gonna do it, so sure you crash to the ground.
oh god.
Because I can remove the effort, and then you would just fall slowly. But I'm allowing you to fly directly into it if you want to.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, I absolutely want to. I have a con of 18. I'm gonna do this shit.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to have you roll. You smash through the top of that house and just absolutely obliterate it as you land. Like shingles and, yeah, just it's a wreck in there. You appear to have arrived somewhere in his... let's say it would probably be his living room. So it's chaise lounge covered in dust and some nice couches which have currently got several large tears all the way through them, and and
I'm gonna stand up and pick some grime off me and dust myself off and find him.
it doesn't take long to find him because after something comes through your fucking roof, you go and investigate. So. So
when he meets me halfway, and I'm gonna grab him.
Yeah, it appears that and just making sure I get the names right. It appears that Dr. Cleese is a about 5'4", ruddy complexioned gentleman who wears some very small glasses over his beady eyes, and as he comes out in his pajamas and just what's going on here, and he like gets grabbed around the lapels by you, and quite easy.
Okay, so you're coming with me. Don't worry, you won't. Well, and then I just fly backwards towards Quinton with him in my hands.
Okay.
I bet he's screaming the entire time.
He is. He looks more like a vole that's in trap. Like he's entirely still, and then if something nudges his foot or something as he's gliding over the gliding over the wreckage that you've left in his living room, he just lays like a little squeal and wiggles for a second before going entirely still again and still again. So.
Okay, so I'm going to fly up to them and I'm going to hold them between us. And be like, hello, Dr. Cleese. I have a question for you. If you don't like the answer, I'm going to drop you. And then, hopefully, Quinton won't catch you in time. Right, Quinton?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. And if we don't catch you in time, well, not really a loss, is it? So the question is, are you afraid?
What kind of question is this? I'm bloody terrified!
I can feel my fingers slipping.
He's actually like holding onto your arms slightly because like holding him by the clothes is going to mean he falls out of his.
Hard, I get it.
So he's. Please, why are you doing this? What's going on?
Should you be afraid?
I don't know.
What have you done, Dr. Cleese, to anger such people?
I don't
Are you a crime that will not be forgiven, Doctor?
I don't know.
Well, you better start thinking really fast. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Do they want me to pay more? I can pay them more. Look, you don't need to do anything about this.
Need to pay who?
Are you paying? Yes.
Church.
Oh, And what do you do for the church?
I give them donations. I give them help. I listen to them when there's dire situations. It's all
Yes, but what do you do for them, Doctor?
I give them money, when they need someone to be locked up for their own safety, then I help them.
How?
What do you mean how? Don't you know? What's all this about?
Well, Doctor, I'm gonna turn him around very carefully and show him the bog witch. She's angry at you. And I'm gonna turn him gently around to show him Quinton, and he's very angry with you. And I'm going to turn him around and show him me again. I'm just furious. So we want to know, what have you done?
With all the turning, his pajama bottoms have come loose and have flown off in the wind.
That's fair. I'm gonna say to him very calmly, so what have you done to anger such 3 people as us?
I just do what the church tells me, that's all. What? He seems to be stuttering, a bit lost in the situation.
Doctor, you always had a choice. Everything you done was a choice. They might have told you to do many things, but it was your choice to acquiesce. Now please tell me, what did you do?
I don't know.
Well, alright. Do you guys have any other leads, any questions you want to ask?
Just to summarize, the guy before said that he had done experiments.
He said he did terrible things.
Yeah, he did terrible things, that's all he gave us. I don't want to hurt him if he hasn't done anything.
Did we get a name for the priest fella?
Did we?
Oh, the gentleman that you first visited. No, I think you did not.
Okay.
Because you decided to go steadily up the line, and
the third priest name here says you've done wrong. How does he react to that name?
I don't know what the church was saying. I've done anything wrong. All I do is listen to them, and I let them use my hospital like they said.
So
What people have you locked away, Doctor?
Yes, the church. The church said they needed to be. I don't like to disobey the church.
I can see you're afraid, Doctor, and it's getting late.
Yes.
Sleep. Staring up. I really don't want to. So I'm going to give you a lighter reprimand. Please, for the love of all that is good, stop letting bad people hurt people who can't defend themselves. Off a higher place than this, directly into hell. And then I'm going to calmly float back down and put him in front of his house.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
I would like to grab him and just be like, and remember, so I take over for you basically and hold him and just like,
Yeah.
and remember, the next time you decide to not report things like this to the guards, we'll come back. And then I would like to stop flying and fall towards a shadow on the ground.
Mm.
And then I would like to activate a road of shadow, which allows me to enter one shadow and exit another one, and then be in his house and just let go. And then just step out through the shadow once again.
So I think that went well, Tara.
I wonder how many old men we're going to terrify tonight.
I don't know, it seems like a lot, doesn't it?
I mean, we could just skip the line and head for the head priest, or high priest, or whatever you want to call him.
I mean, you're right about that, but are you not enjoying yourself?
I am. I really
There
am.
we go. Okay, and I summon my sword to my hand. I drop really hard for a second before flying back up. Okay. Let's go. Wait, where do we go? Toss it right. Sorry, I've been dead for a really long time.
Are we going to the hospital to look at the people he trapped, or are we just proceeding with investigating the priests?
I'm pretty sure at least someone there will be there that wants to answer our questions.
Once
I mean,
that's
they
dealt
really
with,
want to answer.
you could check whether or not people have been, prisoners' convenience or not.
Yeah, as we possibly could free some innocent souls that did not deserve such treatment.
Yeah.
And then we can kill everyone.
So yeah, I assume we're heading to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The hospital's a relatively new building that's obviously been something previously, and they spruced it up to make it look a lot more fancy. It is one of the better maintained buildings in the area. There is a couple of cult members at the front door. They don't look like they're particularly, preparing for a fight or anything like that. It's more like they're almost guards, but, it's the cult. They're in their red uniforms.
So here's the fun thing. One of many says that lesser foes will not never initiate violence unless vigorously provoked. So I'm just gonna land and I'm gonna walk past them.
Okay. They still notice you though, right?
Yeah, they absolutely.
They notice me as one of the citizens of the city.
They just can't be violent to them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you look very strange right now. Is basically what I mean.
Allow me to just where's one of the many here. Yeah, there it is. That's the wording of it.
Okie doke. Yeah, so you can just walk past and they'll go, right?
Yeah. Of course. Say
I
hello
turned
to
to
them as
Terran
well.
and say, so I turned to Terran and like, so that happened.
Yeah.
This is odd.
He is really weird. And that's saying something, considering who we are. So, we go in?
I mean, there's nothing stopping you from just flying over them and land at the entrance. Unless they're like right by the door.
They're pretty much right by the door. It doesn't have a courtyard or anything. It's like...
Okay.
I'm gonna look over at his hair and say, you know what? You can have this one.
I'll smile at you for that.
And I'm just gonna wait for whatever Terror does, because I totally heard her name wrong. But it doesn't matter, it's all the same thing.
Did we get a name for this dude?
I mean, are you after a dude in particular? Or are you just going to the
no,
hospital?
we're just going to the hospital to figure out who's there.
Okay, yeah, let's march in, full view, antlers aloft. Let's just see what happens.
With you, the guards do kind of take a very long pause. Just like, you've been out in the wilds for a bit, haven't you? Like they, because
I'll completely ignore them and just stride past unless they make any effort to stop me.
like one of them raises a hand and the other one just kind of waves it off. Like, get old salts around here, mate. Just.
So I land out of sight, and I'm like, I can't believe that worked. And I just like walk up to them, dragging my sword. So I'm going to have to like, and like I look at each, and I'm like, can I go in too?
You're okay. You seem really hurt. One of them does catch sight of your stomach. He's like, oh, hey, someone get a stretcher. You shouldn't be walking with that.
I put down my sword. I'm like, oh well, that's a good point. I'm like, yeah, I guess I could use some help.
And one of them runs inside, and the other one's like, sit. Oh God, don't move your entire midsection. Like,
oh, okay.
and he's like gets some cloth and balls it up and sticks it over the wound as best he can. How have you been walking around? You're so pale.
It's been a long night.
You've lost so much blood.
Yeah.
And we'll get you in. We'll get you in. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna get carried in.
I literally am gonna get carried in. I'm so flabbergasted by their lack of hostility that I don't know what to do.
They do
Because I thought like, cultists will attack me on sight, and then I'm like, because I was like taunting them like, haha, you gotta fight me now, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm like, oh my god, I gotta help this young girl. I'm like, what?
Sade is just hearing in her head, just like, yeah, this is the royal treatment, apparently.
So yeah, a nurse comes out. She's not in the colours of the cultists. She just appears to be a nurse, and she she stops dead at the sight of you before before realizing what's going on, grabbing the stretcher she has, and basically they stuff you on a stretcher and carry you in.
Ow, it hurts so bad. I would like to point out that I don't think Sade has any charisma. Oh, no, she has 11. That's more than nothing. Slightly.
What am I having?
To be honest,
like you, Bird Brain.
I don't have an 8 in me.
How in God's name do I have the highest charisma?
Force of will.
Wait. What's your charisma?
12.
Oh, damn, mine is 11.
Yeah, you're slightly more interesting than us.
You said it up.
So, yeah, I'm just, like, completely flabbergasted about what's going on. I'm like, am I actually going to get help? Finally?
They are pulling you forward, and there's, like, a nurse who's just like, look, we have to start treating this, for blood loss immediately. So bring some healers in, and, yeah, they're carting you towards the, like, emergency...
triage.
Yeah.
You're gonna do emergency surgery on a dead girl.
Well, I mean, you're so like cold and pale that they're probably not even sending you to triage. They're sending you like straight in to see emergency healers to try and like stop you from bleeding.
They're gonna try to heal me.
Sade, would you allow me to eavesdrop in on your situation?
I don't know.
I mean,
that's what she's thinking.
I mean, that's the thing.
Would you allow me to eavesdrop, so hearing what is going on around you?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing. What are you two doing at the moment? Because, like,
I've just been dragged in.
Like, yeah, because they're not paying any attention to Quinton. You might have gotten some strange looks at your arrival. Kerah, but yeah, it's like they were going to address you, but then the horrific wounds of the girl following you are kind of.
They'll just say this was the plan all along.
It worked, I guess.
To be fair, they're leaving you guys alone right now. So if you wanted to do something,
head for where it looks like the high priest or whatever would be staying, sleeping, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, all of my targets in the past have been like just opportunity, and this is having the same level of thought, which is to say, not much.
I would like to turn to the person with whose name I actually do not know, so just like, so, Bog, yeah, I'll go with that for now. What did you say we find some of the people who's either been locked up and ask them a few questions?
But if we make the man who wronged them reveal it, and I won't say anything beyond that, I'll just trail off after that.
What?
What?
Well, might as well just ask them a few questions to find out who put them. I mean, we already know who put them here, but find out why they were put here.
I'll stare at you for a long moment and just go, okay.
So,
you have better charisma than us?
He is clearly more charismatic.
This is just the murderer meets due process, and
yeah.
I'm desperately confused by it.
I mean,
there's me in the background just being like just completely poleaxed.
I want you to roll me a fray die, Fox up.
What did I do wrong?
No, just roll me a fray die. It's fine.
Who did I hurt?
No, you're fine. You receive one healing as an emergency magical healer comes out to basically start applying it, and your wound does actually start closing.
Oh, it hurts so bad. Hey.
Oh, excuse me just a second, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Of course.
But yeah, the
I feel so much better.
Don't
Thank you.
Don't worry, dearie. We'll make sure that you're nice and safe around here. And one of the nurses like, go get her out of bed. We need to monitor for a while.
So, give me 1 second. Where is it at? Oh, I have to open the book again to look at it.
But yeah, as all of that is going on, we're just looking for some of the people who have been locked up.
Well, you can quite easily find directions towards... I mean, how would you find the people who are locked up?
Perhaps so many people
What is the hospital also, quote-unquote, an asylum?
Yes, it has a mental ward.
I hit to the mental ward.
Okie doke.
So while they're finding me a bed, I'm just completely flabbergasted.
Yeah.
This entire situation. Like, this doesn't work, right? They can't work, but it did. But I'm not. Am I dead? What's going on? I just have more questions. And then I'm in the bed and I'm just laying there, kind of comfortable, just unable to sleep or breathe.
And they're getting some bandages on you.
This entire time.
Like they're bandaging your midsection kind of thing, and you know, what on earth could have caused all this? Like as they're wrapping you up.
Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts so bad. I think I need to be alone with my God. Help.
I think the right time to get back.
Please.
Oh, the poor thing's delirious. No.
Go away.
The thing is, you're so badly injured, and you made it so you look like this, that they don't want to leave you alone, because you look like you're on death's ruddy doorstep.
Okay, I'm gonna sit up straight and then like, okay, you guys, this has been fun. Thanks for the healing, by the way. But I have something to do, and I'm gonna fly out of the room.
They're going to try and restrain you until your feet take off the floor.
And then I'm like, shit.
So
This
roll-
is not what I
roll-
planned for.
Roll me is it toughness check?
Whatever you want me to roll. Me,
A hardiness or something check. Yeah, that's it. As you're basically... Oh, yeah, there we are, you're fine, because they're trying to restrain you and you basically just shrug them off quite easily. As multiple rather strong-armed nurses and even, like, you know, one of the cultists says, come along with you, because he's kind of concerned that you're about to die. They kind of notice you flying out of the room and
like, I like look back in like, don't tell anyone, and then I fly away.
As I hear this from you, because I'm eavesdropping in, I would like to just appear from one of the shadows in the hallway and just like, follow me.
Okay, please get me out of here. They're trying to help me.
Yeah.
And then I drag him back with me to where me and
Kerah.
Kerah is.
Okay, so Kerah, you guys went to the mental ward. For basically the asylum. So now you guys are standing at the mouth of the asylum ward, and there's quite a few funny looks. And have you touched the floor again yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I mean, I can do that very easily. I would like to reclaim my effort for Stormblow and Swiftness.
Okie doke.
I'm gonna turn it around. Like, that was terrifying. That was absolutely terrifying. They kept trying to help me.
I mean, I've been at worse things, but I mean...
I know, but it was so weird. No matter how much you tried, the wound wouldn't close. There was no blood. Anyway.
And now let's find the people whom the church have locked up in here. Hear what they have to say.
Well, some of them might be actually mentally ill, and some
Yeah.
of them might not be.
I'm just thinking, I was a nomad all my life and I died, so I'm probably not familiar with the concept of a sanitarium.
Yeah.
No, just if there are... What kind of setup were we talking here? Cells or...
There's cells, and there's actually 3 different wards. It's quite an extensive place, this. 3 different
I'm really
wards and
apologize for what I'm about to do. With a look of slowly mounting rage as I take in all these sort of cells of people in them, I'll just turn to someone and say, "Let them out!"
Well, there's your answer.
Who are you turning to? There's like...
Oh, is there no one down? I thought you said there were folk who were baffled by it.
I mean, just
The
generally
people in
as...
the cells.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, then no, I'll just immediately start trying to break down doors.
Okay. They're
I
pretty...
will do that a lot easier for you. I would like to just phase through, just like flip open all the locks in the doors.
I mean,
I'm gonna stand at the entrance of the hallway and be like, okay, well, this is happening.
Okay, so you start letting some people out, and you can quite quickly see that some people are there for particular reasons, and some people, when they start seeing ghosts walking through the walls, start screaming. Some people start to jabber and incessantly upon seeing any of you, honestly.
Fair enough!
Yeah, and they,
Dead girl, crazy bog witch, dead person, and flying Birdman in a mask.
Pretty reasonable reaction.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally, he's walking through walls, so...
You don't have to be, like, crazy to, like, think that's scary.
Yeah.
I'm walking through, like to ask, so who here was locked up by the church?
Well, here's the thing, it's kind of difficult because a lot of them are afraid of you guys at first sight.
Okay, so everyone looking at me, I'm going to nullify their fear.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Is that a effort thing, or can you just do that?
Basically anyone that's allied to me, in a way, I could just get them immortal. I don't really know. I might have to, like, know the fear within, but that's also an action. I don't have to spend effort to do that. So I can do it individually, but if you want me to, like...
Some people calm down. Some people are still screaming, but you're not quite sure if they're screaming because they're afraid. It's kind of difficult. Their minds, what you can sense of them, aren't always there. That there is, like, you know, which ward are you doing this on? Or have you all taken a ward each?
I think I'm following Quinton around as he messes everything up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just starting with the ward we were at.
I mean, there's 3, like, at the entrance, so...
Yeah, I get you.
Well, sorry.
Alright,
Assuming we just
so-
walked into, like, the first one.
Alright, I'm going to follow him, and once those people don't stop screaming, I'm going to very calmly approach them and look at them, because I'm confused.
Okay.
I'm going to gently pet their face, trying to mute their terror that I can find inside of them.
They don't appear to be terrified, they just appear to be screaming.
These people are so hurt. I wish there was something I could do for them. Where's my protection network? Nope, there is literally nothing I can do for them.
Nope. Some people are beyond even dampening the fears.
So I stand up and I guess I just shake my head softly. Anyway, so we'll follow.
What about the ones that calmed down?
Okay. There's some of them that are standing there and it's like, are you here to help us? A little voice says from the end of the hall.
That's the idea.
Very much depends on the situation, but if you feel like you need to be here, then we will try to let you stay. But if you feel you weren't rightfully put here, we're here to help.
I don't need to be here. No.
So why were you put here?
I don't need to be here.
Quinton.
Answer my question.
Quinton.
Yeah.
Come here. You know, I don't think everyone here, or at least in this ward, is a prisoner of the church. I think they're just hurt, and they're a danger to themselves and others. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen what you can do to people, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really surprise
I
me.
am dangerous. Yeah. I know.
So there's a bunch of people running past you at this point.
So we're gonna just let that one slide for now. Let's try again, but with not... Well, I guess we're gonna have to let them all out, I say, glancing at Terror. but
I'll probably just be looking around with a mix of confusion and sorrow. What happened to them? Why are they like this?
I like your antlers.
Oh,
that's
Why
the
you look
first
back?
compliment she ever got.
Yeah.
That slays me. So yeah, Quinton just how about this, buddy? You unlock all the cells, but before you unlock them, you ask them, the guy in a red robe put you here, and that should be enough for you to figure it out.
Guess that makes sense.
Yeah, you get to that, I guess. I'll make sure no one starts freaking out.
So I'm assuming we're just heading to the next ward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, Tara, we're going this way. Are you coming?
with confusion, yes. Just following along, looking backwards at the ward we've just been in, a sense of why? What's going on? Why are they?
Well, as far as I can tell, they're sick. In a type of way that makes them dangerous to themselves and other people.
Here's the
I
thing,
don't think
that
this place-
some of them are running out of the ward and into the greater hospital by now.
So, there's that.
We did good.
We did good. I'm
That's
looking
why
over at the
they're-
guardsman whose entire existence is to protect other people.
There is indeed yelling in the distance. As,
Maybe we should go look into that. How about this? Quinn, why don't you go make sure nobody gets killed by angry people?
As I walk back, I would like to shut all the cells again. And then when I get to where the people who ran away are, I would like to pick them up, drop into a shadow, into a cell, out again.
Anyway, I turned to Tara and I'm like, okay, let's go find someone to
Help.
Yes, same thing.
You do get quite a few people struggling when you grab hold of them to transport them back. Some of them have already injured themselves. Some of them have injured other people. And
so, Tara, this time we're going to be systematic about this, and we're going to find who needs help, and if they actually do need help. Does that make sense?
I'll give a long, slow nod, but not say anything.
Alright, I hope that's good enough. I say as I head into the second part of the ward, looking for anyone that doesn't I'm going to look at each of them and try to study them with my know the fear within and try to understand what degree they're afraid and why they're afraid.
Some of them are entirely emotionless and stare back at you. Some of them are quite afraid. Some of them are just reeking of the stuff. There is a cell near the back, though, that kind of, you both kind of catch a whiff there. There's a smell of desire for vengeance and for, and scared, and they are afraid in there.
Do you see that?
I can smell it.
Let's go take it out. So we appear in his bars.
Okay.
A woman with antlers and a dead
Gently
girl.
sniffing. Gently sniffing.
Gently sniffing at it.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, are you okay in there?
He's up and awake because there's been quite a bit of a racket with all the freed mental patients.
Right.
And what's going on?
Well, a lot of things, honestly. None of them good. Why are you in here?
What?
Why do you smell so good?
What do you mean? Why am I in? What does it matter? What's going on?
You.
Pardon? Sorry.
Who wronged you?
Look, you. I just started saying some stuff that the church shouldn't have as much power as they do, and I get crammed in here.
And who were you before you were in here?
I'm no one. I'm just, you know,
Tell me.
I'm from freaking Westock, alright? I shine shoes occasionally. I do deliveries. Before the mill stopped running, I used to do the bread. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Licking my dark lips, and I smile with grinning with black teeth. I'm like, I would like to help you hurt the people that hurt you.
I don't care. I want to get out.
You only get out if you want to hurt them. If you want real vengeance.
You're fucked up.
Yeah.
Sure, fine.
Nice.
Hurt the people who, yeah, all that good stuff.
Okay, and then can I will a sword into existence, I guess?
You don't have any effort left for miracles, do you?
Yeah,
I thought the
sword word allows you to
meant you
summon
basically, yeah.
any
Okay.
weapon I've ever touched or used, but it's hard to tell, like, what I've touched and used. I've never touched.
I will have allowed you to touch one of the swords of the guys of the swamp.
Okay.
So you can.
I will gently summon a sword and slide it with the bars by the blade and give him the handle. Take it.
He's going to. He's going to pause and what's the deal here?
I am the spirit of vengeance, and this is my friend, Kerah, and we're here to do some very bad things to some very bad people.
Okay.
And we would like your help, not because we need it, but because we would like to give you something that you desperately need.
Okay.
Justice. I know that sounds crazy, because it is. We're going to do it anyway.
Alright.
Do you know anyone else that has been locked up by the church inside of this place?
In Ward 3, Gretchen, her name is. But she, no, hang on. They do this thing here. I've not been part of it. I just hear about it from people in their sleep. They do a thing, and I don't know what's it about, but it leaves you a bit unstable, and I don't know what state she's in.
Okay. Quinton, you hear about that?
Am I back yet?
Watchman.
Yeah, you can be back by now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he can hear me anyway, right?
Oh yeah, that's actually true.
A whispery film.
Yeah. Would I know of this?
Well, no, I'm more like, would you want, like, you were listening to our conversation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna call you Watchman from now on because I assume that Quinton is like your alter ego. That's so cool, and I find it really attractive. But anyway, I look back at him and say, so our friend is going to go check on Gretchen, and we're gonna let you out as soon as we're ready. Stay tight. Kerah, you wanna go home? Get some killing tonight.
But I don't know where he is.
Who is?
The guy, the vengeance that you said, that thing?
Oh, that's fine. We're gonna take you to him. That's fine. You
But
just sit
how do
there.
you know where he is?
Oh, that's so cute. And I say as I walk away.
Can I get let out of the cell now?
Is Kerah still standing there?
Probably. You're gonna stop me. I'm gonna try to get his door open.
Yeah, you could. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm just, waiting for Quinton to do it easily.
Yeah. Sensible. Which I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm not sure how busy I am with getting quote-unquote fugitives back into the cell.
Yeah, let's say because you can fly quite quickly and teleport through shadows, let's say you've done it quite by now. Because he was only, say 10 in that ward. These aren't huge wards.
Okay. But that's not basically, when I'm done and they're done with that conversation, I would just like to just more or less appear behind Sade, just walking out from a random shadow.
I literally can't be surprised ever. So, I turn around like, hey, so you heard all that, right?
Yeah.
So we need to go check on Gretchen. Apparently she got dreams.
Let me have my bloody cell from the distance. Like a sword rattling against the bars.
I think should probably get the door off its hinges.
Yeah, probably I'm just
Okay.
trying to literally pull the door out off its hinges.
No, it's just that no one had actually mentioned the act of it, so I was like, yeah, it's like, we're here for vengeance, here's a sword, stay in the cell. I was like, what? But okay.
I would like to see if she actually can pull the door off its hinges.
Yeah, we're gonna stop.
yeah.
Yeah, let's-
see if she can do it.
Let's roll a strength check.
Can I have any kind of modifier? Because vengeance.
It's the modifiers are more related to your facts.
Yeah.
So unless you have your, authentic door pulling experience, then
Yeah.
Or
No,
you just
nothing
get
like that.
really angry and strong or something.
I really hate masonry. Yeah, again, I'll just.
when you
roll
level
straight
up, your next fact will be I really hate masonry. I hope
Yeah.
you do that.
I really hate imprisonment would be better.
Oh.
Come on, you're so strong.
I will commit effort to this.
Okay, doke.
Well, now she succeeds.
Yep, you succeed. You just you pull and he's like, look, we've all tried. These doors don't. Boom.
Just rip it off. Well, I'd like to point out when you miracle to succeed on a roll, you will save. I guess checks also make sense. It's only for the scene. It's not for the day.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought that was for the day.
No, it goes like this. If it costs no effort, it's a scene. Since there are actions you can miracle. If it costs scene, it's for the day, and if it's for the day, it costs 2 days worth of effort.
Okay.
And there are certain things you just can't do, like that luck greater gift that allows you to literally make something change forever.
Or just
That one
win.
you can't do.
The
Yeah,
and
or just
and
win.
go to the city words as well. Or city gifts.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
the book of the lexicon of the Iron Throne that has a lot of hey, you can't miracle this shit. Kind of stuff,
Yeah, but yeah. So she
So-
rips the door up.
He will kind of pause when he leaves the room. He's obviously being a bit hesitant and he'll just kind of turn a little bit to Tara and I keep calling you. I want to call you Tara.
Kerah. It's
Kerah.
Kerah.
And-
Big,
Kerah.
yeah.
And just kind of go, look, I just want to go home.
Sigh heavily and say, "You do what you feel you need to do."
Look, I'll help you guys. I will. I'll put in a good word with you, my people. But I've been here for so long. Yeah,
Just help someone else down the line.
I will. You can trust me. I will. And he's gonna head out, and then he's going to run the opposite direction to head out of the wards.
So where was this person held again that we were looking for now?
Ward 3?
Gretchen.
Ward 3.
Gretchen?
Yeah, Gretchen. Ward 3 near the back.
So, I would like to just... If you could accompany me and then step through the shadows and emerge at Ward 3.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to take them with me if possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we are. Let's see if we can find this person.
Alright. I'm gonna look through each of the windows and the cell doors and know the fear within, see what's making them really afraid.
Couple of scared of family members, unfortunately. Couple of scared of the darkness. One of them's terrified of something called the nightmare caribou.
Should be.
So as I'm passing each one, I'm like, okay, scared of family, darkness, violence, nightmare caribou.
yes,
Twitch of that.
there is a pause near the back where he advised you might be able to find them, and it seems to be scared of a very wide smile and this very particular knife, and you can't see it very clearly. They almost won't let themselves think about it, but it is it's as if it's an attacker. But the only thing they remember is the smile and the knife.
So who is this person? Is it a woman?
Yes, this appears to be a woman.
What am I seeing in the cell? She's just sitting there, lying there, sleeping?
She's awake because most of them are awake by now, what with the what with all the hooting, hollering, stabbing, and confusion. And yeah, she appears to be sitting in a corner at the opposite side, clutching at her own fingers and ever so slightly kind of muttering under her breath.
Okay, so once
Why
I
is she muttering?
see her, I'm going to immediately turn all her fear off for that thing.
Okay. She straightens her back a bit and she mutters a little bit louder, and you can hear it better now. It's along lines of like, it's a nursery rhyme kind of thing that she's just chanting to herself of along the lines of "Ring a Ring a Rosies," but it because it's 3-port, it's like a 3-port kids nursery rhyme, so it has more to do with dock rats and chasing them.
I want to say prostitution. That's probably only true.
What a nursery rhyme.
There's a lot of old dirty.
A lot of people have, and a lot of people have suggested that the bopping them on their heads thing is this is basically a prostitution nursery song, but they still teach it as kids. So
yeah, there's actually I've heard some rhymes from the 1800s, I believe. They were interesting because they were like really fucking in your face about it, and they didn't like pull punches. Like, wow, what the heck? I didn't know they were that.
filth.
It's just like that.
I'm just saying, dub, 3 men in a tub.
Oh yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at her. She's no longer afraid of the thing she was afraid of. I'm like, hi, and I wiggle my fingers.
She looks at you for a moment, and then she goes back to like tugging on her fingers, and you see she's counting along to the nursery rhyme. What did you want to say, Quinton?
Basically just like ask, are you Gretchen?
She looks at you, and you lot, and then just nods.
Perfect.
Gretchen. Do you need help?
She looks up and kind of nods her head to the side and shrugs and say, I'm in here to feel better.
Do you hear, Gretchen?
The men in red. The cult, the church. They don't like it when you call them a cult. That's...
So, Gretchen, why did they put you in here if you were feeling so bad? Why did they take you to a doctor?
They said that I had things wrong with me. They said that what I liked and what I didn't like. They said that it just wasn't proper, wasn't good, wasn't what it should be. So they brought me here so I could get fixed.
And how did they try to fix you?
They gave me some medication, and they gave me some shocks. And they said it was all very special, all very new.
How long have you been here?
I've been here. What day is it?
What day is it?
Well, you wouldn't know what day it is. The only one of you would know what day it is. Quinton.
I don't know what day it is.
He's not paying attention.
Live. Say today's date. So 11th of. Was it?
May.
11th of May. Yeah.
So, I'm like, what day is it?
It's today.
That's not helpful.
I don't keep track of the days, okay?
I'm not sure what
I got sick.
I don't either. Okay.
Imagine we just huddled out behind the door, just like, what do we do?
Just whisper screaming at each other. And I stand back up and I'm like, it's okay, Gretchen. I know you might have been here for a long time. And I think that you should come with us. And we'll take you somewhere where you can get a nice drink and a nice meal and go to sleep.
Who was the guy that said we should say it? Was he like father, brother?
You guys actually didn't get many details on him.
No, we really didn't.
You don't even know his name.
Describing the person for her, and just like, do you know this man?
Johnny! Johnny was brought in with me, but he caused trouble, so he got put in the hole. And I got brought to the treatments, and yeah, Johnny's good. We live near each other in Westdock.
Well, Gretchen, do you have any family?
No, it's one of the reasons why they were like, you're wrong, because I don't have anyone. So they said that I must be all like wrong in the head.
What do you say we get you out of here and get you someplace warm and nice?
Okay, been ages, and I don't have to take no more medication. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch it.
And then I face through the wall, through the
No,
door.
do not! You're gonna scare the crap out of her.
No, she can't be, can she? You're making her immune to fear. So she's
Yeah,
like,
but only the fear that I know that exists inside of her.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, and that, okay, I thought you made her immune. Yeah, that's fine.
I made her immune to the fear of the thing she was afraid of. I can only make her immune to fear of the things I know she's afraid of.
Yeah.
That I intrinsically know she's afraid of. Okay, so I'm gonna like grab him. It's like, okay, doesn't work like that. Stop. You're gonna scare her. Like pulling him back out of the door.
Yeah.
And,
Like I got my foot through the door, just like.
Yeah.
Okay, then I open the door normally.
Yeah, just reach through it and open it. Stop being so ridiculous.
I mean, you open the door from the outside.
And then you'd need
Typically.
keys. You need keys to open these up. You could just rip the door off like before.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna look over
people
the door.
are true.
Like, I mean, it's scary, but it's not crazy.
I mean, what's scarier, getting the door ripped off or just walking through the door?
To me, as a person who has been a mental patient, yes.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
the guy phasing through the door makes you question reality.
Yeah.
The door coming off could happen at any time.
Eh.
Anyway, so I'm like, Tara, can you get the door, please?
Wordlessly step forward and try to pull the door off its hinges.
Strength
I
check,
mean, you
please.
already miracled it. Why don't you? I mean, doesn't miracles like that last for the entire scene? So she has.
I have no idea. Is that a thing I can do?
I thought that was just for passing the check.
Yeah. It's a,
Well,
I'll give you a plus. I'll give you a +2 because
Okay.
you've done it before,
hey,
and your
I'm
target
getting
is
used to
5.
it.
So hopefully you won't. You know, you have to get 3 and under to 2 and under to fail this.
yeah,
so-
don't fail
yeah, I
this.
was
Because you rolled
lost
so
the
last
whole
time.
point window.
Let's see.
Okay. Here we go. +2, did you say?
Yes, +2 because you did this earlier.
Plus down. The plus sign.
Yay!
Yay! It
He did.
crunches successfully off the, not even off the hinge, like you rip the lock open basically, so it doesn't look too horrifically strong, even though it probably takes more strength to not rip the entire thing off.
You just hear the solid crunch of like a lock being broken.
Yeah, so she
Much
kind
around my
of,
drink.
she stands up and she's a little bit hunched over when she
Fucking
moves.
masonry. I can't wait till that comes up again
What's
later. She said fucking masonry.
Oh god.
As if she hates masonry.
So she
I can see that though.
So yeah, she oh, what did I name her now?
Gretchen.
Gretchen. I need to record this name because that just was something I made up. So
I've been there.
okay, so yeah, Gretchen stands up. She's quite a tall woman. You know, quite strong looking though. It's obvious that she's been cramped in here. You know, for a while, and malnutrition has been going on for longer than she's been in here. So she gets up and she looks around. I can come with you lot then.
You are indeed.
Hey, Yeah, let's go. Let's go before people come, and they always come. She says as she kind of gets out of there, and she's not.
We'll protect you from them. I'll say with totally unjustified confidence.
We will definitely protect you from them with totally justified confidence.
Hey, that's direct.
Because I have the protection word. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I have one real question here. Can I, if I'm holding someone, phase through the wall with them? Just purely theoretical here.
I think it's just yourself.
Okay.
I think that power lets you do it. But if you
It would be
expend...
fun if you could pull part of them into it and then leave them there.
I mean, I could always just miracle it.
Yeah, if you miracle it, you can extend it to other people.
Yeah. Okay, just want to know.
The wall and just leave them there as a
Yeah.
decoration.
Now you think about what you've done.
I'll be back by tomorrow.
Oh dear. So what would you like to do?
Because I'm out of effort and I haven't told anyone.
But yeah, I'm just thinking we'll just walk out the hospital.
Okay.
It's like, oh, I hope they don't see me.
There's some general panic and going on because, hey, well, what people have seen so far is that an incredibly wounded girl has entered the hospital, immediately got up, floated away, went to the mental ward, let out a load of patients, who then immediately got captured by something that resembles a ghost that lunged out of the shadows, and so, people saw you doing this because someone.
And now when they get over there, there's going to be a literal door ripped off its hinges.
Yeah, there's
I would like to commit effort to spread my cities to others, so they will just appear as normal citizens, and only worthy foes are allowed to see through this imposter.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to give 2 checks because there are some worthy foes in the area that have turned up because of the problem. The problem, yeah.
I like to think of us as a problem.
I
really do.
So it's a save, right?
The warning on the wall of the cell.
Pardon?
Yes,
This is a warning on the wall. Of the
Oh
cell.
God. Okay. No, please. Your hands are muddy, so I will allow you to just smear mud with this as a warning across
Thank
the.
you.
Okay,
I'll
so
smear something else, but
that's
Smear on the wall.
this is a warning. Is a meme from one of my games. Okay. It's basically it was a mark we left when some.
Where did we leave the mark? Tell them that.
Okay, so I might have carved it in the side of a dead dog. A dead dog stuffed in a treasure chest that we set on fire.
with the words, this is a warning.
With the
brutal, man.
with the
That's
words-
unnecessary.
with the words, this is a warning.
To my mind, worst part is the 2 people doing this were illiterate.
Yeah, so we had to go to our literate
So you're
friend.
saying there's a chest with a dead dog inside it. It's on fire, and the dog has "This is a warning" spelled incorrectly.
Exactly.
We had him write it out on a piece of paper first, so then we could copy it. Like we probably just
Don't try to justify your mistakes.
we probably got the piece of paper, put it on the side of the dead dog, and traced it with a knife. But
Anyway, when she does that, can I have because I have skill without end, all my hands count as 1d10 plus 1 magical weapons.
Yes.
I'm going to. Can I carve? And I mean it into the concrete below.
Please do. And then you can all.
I mean it.
And then, due to the miracle, you and
Everybody else.
the whole party plus Gretchen, who has probably written something her own on the wall.
I would like to point out, since she's not part of our party, she has a 12 morale score, which is like being an ultimate hero.
Yeah, she will never back down or run away.
So you guys,
She would have to roll 2 6s.
so it's a save to resist the thing, right?
Yeah, spirit save. But yeah, just a save.
Save. Okay. That one's failed and that one's failed. So yes, both of them miss you entirely. As the They walk in to basically come see what's going on. They completely ignore you, and they walk past in order to deal with the problem.
Do they have red robes on?
They have red robes on. They have a little bit of gold filigree around the shoulders.
Does the watchman recognize either of them?
You know that they're slightly higher members of the church. They're probably the same level as the gentleman that you dragged out of bed earlier. They're younger, they're more fit, but these are kind of like upper echelon members of the church. Yeah, priests.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to bring Gretchen back to essentially my house, where the other 4 people are staying. The other 4 people of my family is staying as well. I just politely asked them to take care of her and make sure that she gets what she needs.
I finger wave at Senna. Hey.
Senna is asleep at this point. She's.
Oh, I finger wave at them. Like, hi.
Yeah, Senna cried herself to sleep earlier. So Wolfram is sitting there, and he's like in his guard uniform, and he's yawning. Where did you get her from?
Let's just say that some of the people who took Senna, and they've been doing shit around town, and we're just, cleaning up. And we learned that the hospital has been taken effectively prisoner. So we're just here to, make sure they get back out. And
okay. Well, if you need
don't
us,
you worry.
Hey, maybe rest here for tonight. All right, you lot look like you look dead on your feet. He says, looking over at Sade and Sade.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, that did just come out of the ground.
And you're the bog witch, he says, slowly looking at Kerah.
I'll just look at him.
Oh, by the way, I don't have my sword. I just left it at the hospital. I dare anyone to take it.
I mean, they're nice people.
She's the bog witch. We've been trying to catch her for ages because she left, that guy across several rooms.
You was a bad man.
You don't even know who I was talking about.
Yes.
Yes!
I mean, it did help save Senna, so not entirely bad if it is.
Fine. Wolfram turns on you and points a very strong finger for someone who is basically a peasant, and just pointed at the bog witch and just goes, "Look, you saved my sister, and I'm very thankful, and you can stay here tonight. But look, you can't just go around killing people."
Yeah. What? Yeah. This isn't right.
We just killed people.
I mean, we're the guard. We're meant to stop people from killing other people, even if they've done something wrong. I've known lots of people who've done wrong, and generally I try to keep them alive so due process can have its, can be done. People can get a lot of catharsis from he reads a lot. Catharsis from the the whole law process, and then we can watch them die later.
Yeah,
I'll just go.
Just give me a second, Wolfram. I turn to Kerah and just what has he done to deserve that punishment?
You don't want to know.
Trust me, I do want to know.
Probably return his library books on time. I
well, generally from the description that you gave for the people you target, it probably murdered some people down an alleyway.
Definitely some kind of class 1 felony type stuff.
Yeah, violent crimes you tend to target by sound.
I look at
you're typically you're sentenced to death.
Yeah.
That sounds good and all. I mean, but have you been able to stop everyone that has hurt people directly in front of you?
Of course, I haven't been able to stop everyone. I'm not a god.
I know. I'm aware. But there are people that you can't do anything about who get total free reign to do whatever they damn well please.
And they priest of the church.
That doesn't mean that we should, kill them just because we can't, immediately catch them.
Okay,
We won't kill him, we'll just scare him shitless like we usually do. They usually confess after that.
I agree with you, and I'm going to drag them in front of you, and anyone can decide. I'm going to go to bed. Excuse me.
Okay, look, okay. Do you need anything? He like points at Sade and Sade, because it's like you really look injured. Are you okay?
I stare directly at him, and I don't blink for a solid 10 seconds. I'm fine.
Okay, well, we've got some gauze. Most people don't really trust the hospital these days. Okay.
Oh, I can understand. They're nice when they can be. That's really weird.
It's, yeah. Rest. I'm gonna complete the rest of my watch.
You'll be fine in the morning, I say as I walk away. Where's my room?
We don't really have rooms, but there's
Where's
like
the floor I can sleep on?
there's space near the.
I'll just stand by the door.
No, there's a space by the
No, it's fine. Trust me.
We keep the hearth nice and warm at night because we're all mostly awake.
And then I stand by the door for the rest of the night, getting my rest.
Okay.
Because I don't ever have to, sleep or eat.
None of you have to sleep.
I'm gonna get something to eat though.
Okay.
I'm gonna cook up a meal.
Okay. You haven't got a grand situation here, but Wolfram's actually managed to go out and get some fresh ingredients recently, so he sticks together some
what I assume
stuff.
what happens next is that we take a rest and we quit the session, but before that happens, I want to stare directly at the Bog Witch for the rest of the night as she stares back at me.
Yep.
Beat me to it. More than enough.
Beat me to it, yeah, I know, right?
Oh, my
just continuously staring at each other.
My
sitting
It's really hours on end.
Like 8 to 10 hours.
I hunger.
And I'm just sitting at the table eating as you're goddamn watching each other.
It's like talking to your brother. It's like, so where'd you find them? He's like,
Yeah.
Well, that's a long story.
There will be a little bit of a discussion of people coming and going. Elena just like, what the hell is going on? The moment she steps inside.
Don't question it.
We'll talk about it later, not in front of the weirdos.
Okay, big bro. Okay, and she goes off and So it's. I think we'll leave it here then, because we got a little ahead of where I was thinking we were going to go anyway, and it's.
As does so often happen.
And I will allow you guys to.
I can only imagine that you didn't plan on for them to throw a dog into a chest, stencil the words "This is a warning," and then set it on fire. There's no fucking plot to that.
Actually, it was an entirely plot-relevant mission that we fucked up to the point.
I'm saying it is relevant. I'm saying is that he couldn't have planned for you to do that.
I've long since given up trying to, in any way, anticipate what they're going to do.
So here's the biggest problem. So here's the thing. On one side of the doors, there was that going on. On the other side of the doors...
thing that was going on in the building.
No. It's not just... This isn't justification. On one side of the door, we were lighting a massacred dog on fire, putting him into a chest. And the other side of the door, the wizard was naked and attempting to cast spells in order to make the gentleman that he'd knocked out cold.
And basically condemned to death. That dude did die. I don't know if I ever said that.
Yeah. So because the place got lit on fire. So he was knocked out cold, but he was kind of dead anyway because he tried to stun him without the ability to actually do stun damage.
So he was trying to convince the watchmen who were investigating that the old man he concussed wasn't actually in any way injured. He was just a bit ill by creating awful flatulent smells of his magic. Unsuccessfully.
Unsuccessfully doesn't count this because unsuccessfully is oh no, it hasn't worked. No, Sean got fucking catapulted out of the front door by a reflex of the magic going bad as he got thrown into the cobblestone, almost killed himself, and went streaking through the night streets entirely naked except for a wig and white face.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the white face.
Oh no, white face came later because he was disguising himself. But yeah,
Okay,
his
I've
character.
had some weird games before. Like, you know, I've been around and I've done a few things, and I've seen people do horrible shit to other people in fake pen and paper ways. But goddamn, dude, how did you get in that situation?
My situation was minimally affected. Look, here's the thing.
Okay, I don't care what minimally affected means to you when you're lighting a chest on fire with a dog inside.
Okay,
you stencil the words, "This is a warning."
Okay, here's the thing. We were asked.
Things have officially derailed.
So we were asked to come in and steal some documents.
Yeah.
You just couldn't do that, could you?
We broke in. We
They
managed.
really couldn't. I realised early on that of the party, only one of them could read, and they sent illiterates to go and find the documents, and I realised that and said nothing because I wanted to see what would happen, so it's my fault.
I mean, it's not your fault. You just said, "Oh well, I guess I'll take my hands off this ravenous beast for a moment."
Alright.
So
Really
here's
it's
what
exhausting.
here's what happened. We went in. We managed to accidentally attract the attention of a dog.
Because neither of you is so great at stealth, as I recall.
I was actually pretty good. Jason didn't take off his armor.
Oh yeah, that didn't help.
So, yeah, he was a dwarf, so he clanged through a door, and an old dog who was basically entirely toothless woke up and attempted to savage us. He rolled so badly, so many times, that he wound up in a life and death battle with the dog.
Yeah, the dog really didn't have so great stats, but I was rolling so well, and he was rolling so badly, the dog was kind of winning.
So you're telling me this old decrepit disease probably only has a few more weeks to live dog with no teeth is kicking this warrior's ass?
So
Pretty much.
We then... So he killed...
Oh my god, I'm just picturing that.
So
Yes, kill it, Sir Valiant Knights, as the halfling smokes his pipe leaf.
Yeah.
And then, like, in the background, there's a fucking ravaging battle between this old decrepit dog and this knight who just can't get the fucking upper hand at all.
Thing is,
That's
I was
those
trying to
fucking
calm...
rounds of combat right there.
Thing is, I was trying to calm it down. I was like, no, good dog. And he kept swinging his hammer at the damn thing. Like, I was trying to offer it pies that I bought. And so that happened. The old man still didn't wake up at that point because... Miracle that he was asleep throughout the entire... I think we were in another room. So we dragged
several rooms away, to be fair.
So we dragged the dead dog into the room, at which some point the wizard starts showing up. So the wizard shows up because I think it was a little bit of metagame and they realised we can't read. So they show up at the door and he's trying to con his way inside.
They get the documents, like, what do they say? I don't know, let's just take
Yeah, they pretty much grabbed everything in the desk and ran.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, Next is like,
Oh, no.
Let's just take them all.
Run would be good. We immediately had the thing, but because that Sean had come to the door and knocked and woken the guy up, he was now awake out there. So eventually, Sean just went in, put him to sleep with magic, and then to make sure he didn't wake up, tried to concuss him, I believe. I think that's how it
God,
worked.
what is wrong with you people? Why don't you do anything else that might be more successful? Like, I don't know, bind his hands and gag him instead of just beat him over the head multiple times?
I had nothing to do with that. Because at that point, I was in the main office.
He's a wizard. How is he so fucking stupid?
Yeah, at that point, I was in the main office with the dwarf we'd found a safe behind. We found a safe behind a portrait, and the dwarf went, "That's a big safe. I'm gonna smash it open." So that's why the guy, I think that's why he woke up and why he was looking around. So why, he got concussed, because it was like, oh god, we're clanging a safe open with a warhammer. So we cracked it open. That's where we got the chest from. We robbed this guy's life savings. And then, and the thing is that, so the wizard had started a fire in the dock district before we come here. So there's...
Which I believe was meant to be like a discretionary distraction tactic.
If you call that anything but him desiring to set everything on fire.
I have to ask a very, 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 very serious question right now. I need you to be entirely serious.
Yes.
How bad is the reputation?
We're wonderful. We're actually one of the best agents in the entire land.
You literally, job so hard.
No,
A dying dog killed your warrior bear.
No, that's the thing. We saved it because there were no survivors.
Yeah,
so
they killed all the witnesses.
And
yes, the most successful of all jobs.
And
where everyone knows what happened, but no one can talk about it.
And the main reason I carved this as a warning in the side of the dog was to make it seem like some kind of weird kind of attack, and not just us trying to investigate something and stealing a load of things. So everything went tits up, and I just went, I'm going to make this seem even weirder than before. So I carved words and
set the whole place on fire or something.
We did! We lit the dog on fire, and then everything lit on fire. And we... So we burned...
I just have to ask a serious question of Prof for a second. They might not have realized, but was the dog actually dead?
Oh, it was very dead.
Oh yeah,
thank God.
He cracked it open cracked its skull open with a warhammer. It was really dead.
He was really mad at the dog, so once it went down, he basically obliterated it.
He was really mad at that dog. Meanwhile, I was just like, look, gold in the distance. And I found the secret exit which went to the sewers. So, yeah, basically, we escaped through the secret sewer exit while the...
Body counts everyone. Building ashes.
I had to...
Stolen. Dog...
Dog desecrated.
And then finally, report mission successful.
So, you want to hear the worst fucking thing? The worst thing. We were given this mission by a guy whose office is right next to it.
Yeah.
And he couldn't say a damn thing about what had happened, because we were basically playing against his brother. So it would basically be him going, yes, I hired a bunch of lunatics in order to look into my brother's...
Yeah. Told them how to get in, gave them, all the information to do that, and then that happened.
So I made eye contact with him the next day, and he just glowered at us and said nothing else.
I recommend you never go back to Bogenhaven for that reason.
I am a rich businessman, and I will never go there.
I do like the idea. That is insane. That's almost as bad as the time, like, the pirate got stupidly drunk.
Oh.
And he challenged, like, 12 level 7 pirates to a duel, and they immediately just fucking shot him.
Okay.
And then, over time, over that very day, they tried to carry out revenge against the pirates, and let me tell you, it went shit sideways really fast. I can't even remember everything, but I know the illusionists stole their money while they were killing them.
Oh, God.
And there was a lot of shit like that. But my favorite thing, that's kind of sounds like this. This is going to surprise you. So, I had a level 5 party of 4 characters. A cleric dwarf of light domain. A warrior champion, just like straight up as stupid as a box of rocks, but able to kill anyone he looks at. A wizard who should just go to hell. And at the time, a rogue, and trust me, it gets weirder from there. Anyway, so these guys are like, they've been investigating something about like a murder that's happened, and the watch, like this man had asked them to look into it, and he was like, okay, and they find out like over time that like there's this Titan's son that's been kidnapped, and they're trying to figure out who did it, and they have an inkling, and right as they figure it out, they unlock this puzzle to give them the answer that unshackles the Titan's son, and he's still thralled. So they immediately attacks him. They can't kill him, and the wizard's like, "Haha! I tricked you this entire time. I wasn't identifying your items. I was controlling you." So they just shoot him in the head a bunch, and that stops the thrall, and they just get away with it. And then they're being rewarded, and they're like, "Hey, remember that time when that wizard showed us all his treasure and where it is and how to get to it by accident? Why don't we go back there and just steal everything?" I'm like, okay, fair. But do remember, there were like literally 20 Steam Centurions in there. And that's a thing I made up that could hit you like a box of rocks, smashing into a fucking cliff face. They're like, I don't think that's a problem. We can take them. I counted, guys. That's a level 300 CR rating fight. And you are CR rating 5.
Okay.
So, it's your suicide pact. And they were like, they talked about it for like 20 solid minutes, how to do this. And they had a potion called Oil of Slipperiness. If you know anything about it, it's like a really stupidly strong grease spell that no one gives a shit about. But these are Steam Centurions. Do you think their dex is really high? No, it is not. In fact, they have a -3 on any save they make with it. So basically, they have to save it like it's just like the DC is 15. They have a -3 on their save, so they have like a total of 8. They have to roll 19 or higher to stand in this shit or walk through it. So let's say they throw it at the doorway, and they have this plan, and I tell them, okay, if you really want to do this, we're going to have to literally the entire session is in combat. And so they throw it at the doorway, and every time these Steel Centaurians try to walk through it, they just fall over. And occasionally, when they get back up, they fall over again. And you know when an enemy's prone, you have melee advantage on them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, over the course of this entire fight, they burn every fucking resource they have. They use their accent surges, they have like 10 hit points altogether. The rogue dies. The wizard throws this bag of magical goo because they were stupid enough to slam a bag of potions on the ground by accident. Or on purpose, I can't remember which. And she throws it into it, and it just causes this wild magic surge, so the rogue is dead. He reincarnates into a little girl and charges them immediately. Because let me tell you something about wild magic. It doesn't just go, oh yeah, so you reincarnate a day later and show up. No, you reincarnate right that very fucking second and show up. And then that little girl dies again. That's right, someone died twice in one combat. And then a unicorn appears. They give one of the fucking Centaurians the ability to teleport as a bonus action. And a bunch of flumps start screaming as they run around. And they're still fighting. And they fight for like 20 solid rounds. And they get cocky because they're winning. Like, they manage to kill all these pretty much, like, slaughter them without effort. But, you know, I kept telling them, like, one of these guys could kill you by themselves. And they get cocky. They're down to the last 2. They rush in to take them on so they don't have to stand at the doorway the entire time for the next, like, 4 rounds because these things are slow. The fighter almost drops in 1 hit. The goddamn wizard definitely drops in 1 hit. And the cleric's like, oh shit! And they're like, they get it across. Like, these things weren't fucking around. They do 2d20 damage every hit. 2d20 damage plus 8.
Ouch.
Yeah, they got a good attack bonus, too. The only reason they lasted so long was because they couldn't get the fuck up. Every time they got up, they'd fall over again because they'd have to get up, move, and, like, every time you end a round inside of the grease spell, you must make a save. And every time you move inside of it, you must make a save. So they would just repeatedly fall over and over and over. And they don't have a lot of move speed, so they would just slowly try to get through this shit. And they're just like unstoppable killing machines, slipping and sliding. And oh my god, they finally did it. And it took me like 5 hours to roll up all that treasure. They gained like 5 levels, and that's why they're called the Unbearables. That and their pet bear named Bear Trap, and I don't want to go into that one.
Oh,
Anyway,
as well.
They actually finished that campaign, and you want to know how they did it? So, I had this lore that they were on the elemental plane of water. A part of my world has been shifted and exiled to this place. It contained all the wild elves, and this is where they were, because of reasons I still haven't told really anyone. And their king was like a dick most of the time, but ultimately, you know, wild elves. Anyway, so the Calaxis crystal, as it was, amplifies and reverberates magic, meaning that anytime you cast anything into it, it casts it around it as well, to everything inside of its area. And the bigger the crystal, the bigger the radius, and the more it multiplies exponentially. So the Lich that they're trying to destroy, trust me, these motherfuckers just appear there and start beating the shit out of him. It takes like 3 rounds to kick this Lich's ass and 3 other archmages. At one point, there were so many counter spells going, I lost track. Like 4 of these people can counterspell, and 3 of the enemies can counterspell. So they're just counterspelling all their spells, and it was just a counterspelling duel of who can get the last reaction to see if the spell goes off, and it was just nuts. And they finally defeat the Lich, and he's in this phylactery, which is this Calaxis crystal. So he basically owns the entire elemental plane of water, and he's like monologuing, and they're like, they don't even think about it. They're like, he gets like 4 words in, and the dwarf cleric being played by Gary, the colossal idiot, casts Banish into his own phylactery in the center of all Calaxis crystals. Let me tell you, anyone on this island is not from this place, this elemental plane of water. What does Banish do now that you banish the entire elemental plane of water? You send everyone back to where they came from.
Yep.
And that's the campaign.
Yes, before
They
we...
also made a dra-
I
got.
We need to do experience and stuff, guys.
Oh yes, sorry, yes.
It was such a good campaign.
Yeah. Also, I got to stop the recording
They were
at some
totally
point. Otherwise, this is going to be in for ages. Where is the experience thing? I've not.
If you look at the GM screen I sent you, it should have it right there. In front of you.
Everyone else, it's in Running the World, I believe it is, and then Advancement and Rewards.
Yeah, it has
In
everything
page
organized for
103.
you if you go down to where is it? That's one checks.
Advancements. Okay.
It's in here somewhere.
Yeah, Bloodbook page
Experience points. There
103.
we go.
Yeah.
So you get 1 point for the session, 1
Yep.
point for succeeding at the adventure, and 1 point for every serious challenge and test.
Well, do you think that you guys succeeded at the adventure?
Not yet, honestly.
I mean, I feel like we still have to confront like the head priest or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
And for the concept, we technically succeeded at forming the party, but as for the adventure, no.
Okay.
We can
So.
also succeed in saving and
Well,
eradicating
any serious
Warsaw.
challenge or test, I don't think we were seriously challenged or tested at
No.
all. We just kind of walked through everything.
And I mean, we got like one combat-oriented character, I think.
Yeah, and let me point out something out. We didn't just walk through everything. Occasionally, we literally walked through everything.
Yeah.
And one time I crashed through the roof, so there's that. So nothing was really challenging, so probably just 1 XP.
I want to give you guys enough to level up to level 2 for the next session.
How much is that again? 3?
2 XP, I think, or is it 3?
I'm checking now.
No idea.
Rules of the game, advancement.
I think that
3 and
probably
2.
is
Three
justification
and
on the
two.
fact, forming the party and all that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly, I pretty much like the first thing was going to be taking out those chumps. So I'd say that you did, like, as much as.
You don't have to justify it, man. You're the GM. Just say you're level 2.
Yeah, I want to get you guys to level 2 for this, but no, you also, I'd say that you did the stuff that is appropriate because you took out a load of guys.
You did the thing good, and I'm not ashamed of you as I.
We fought the party, we beat up some cultists, and we saved the person.
You took out like 9 guys in one turn. Well, in basically.
Yeah, admittedly, we only killed like 2 of them.
But then still, you took
Then we murdered all of them.
you took out a lot of
There's
them.
combat, and then
but-
there's murder, and what you
We
definitely
incapacitated like a lot of people.
Yeah, you guys took out like a lot of people, and you and whether or not it's
I like that guy I made run away, and he's so terrified he's drinking and probably doing an excessive amount of opium, and then like as I'm watching him do it, I made him terrified of angels that are coming for him the entire day.
So, and I think that would be enough for Dominion because it's 1 Dominion for showing up, isn't it? And
Yes, 1 Dominion, and for staying in tune with your words or godly concepts. This does mean, however, you can gain 1 for each word you're attuned with, and you acted accordingly.
I think everyone at least did 1 big kind of word thing because you've definitely there was a lot of bird in there was a lot of fear in there, and there was some lovely actions of vengeance in there as well. I think everyone was very in tuned.
Definitely.
And
So we get 2.
2. Yeah,
That's why binding more words is also a good idea, because you can live up to all your words all the time.
exactly. So
That's a good point.
this does mean everyone levels up. So yeah.
Yeah, when we spend
Actually,
Dominion, that is.
Oh yeah, you have to spend it, don't you? So.
Yeah, you have to spend it.
Would you
If
like to
want
spend some
level up,
Dominion?
You have to spend at least 2 Dominion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can make
And
an
that might take a
informal-
while to explain to everyone, so we might be here for a bit.
Well,
Dominion from cults.
it's
And
why
if we level up, we have to actually decide on like free divinity or cult.
Yeah.
That might take even longer.
well, that can be decided on over time, but
Yeah. Plus,
so
Dominion projects actually do take time. Like,
Yeah.
We're not going to do them.
I'd say that this is stuff that's kind of the first level. It's it's always something that's been in process. So say this is something that without you knowing, your body has been working on for 8 years. And, Kerah's had quite a while to work on it, and Quinton's, So, it's,
I'm assuming that Threeport is categorized as a city.
yes.
Assuming.
So, basically, for Prof, who's not done this before, in order to level up, you have to spend your Dominion. So, what you'd want to do is go to your projects, and start a new project, and probably aim for one that has the cost of 2.
Okay.
So that means that you'll be able to spend it and get it done immediately. So if you so projects is stuff like let's say if you wanted to make your tree invisible to people, then that would be a project. Or make it like a bit more difficult to find some stuff, or for 2 it would be a small change. So
would a project be something like my designated territory? I can make it pretty much, if not impossible, and much harder for people who aren't welcome to find their way through.
Yes.
It has to be bound to your word specifically. So, like, if you could find a justification
Bog
for
witch.
the word's
Yeah.
concept.
But
There you go.
bog witch, because it's
pretty much. There you go.
yeah, it's pretty much like fairy queen of the whole disorientating unwelcome visitors. Yeah.
All right, so I have one.
Yep.
I'm going to try for a plausible difficulty on the scope of the entire city because, like you said, we're basically the incipient of change at this point. Once we do enact the change, then we'll have to actually put effort into putting together the projects. Otherwise, what I want to do is something called Arm of the Week. That's my project, and it's basically like anyone of 1 HD in this entire city can find anything they need feasibly to defend themselves easily. Meaning that they'll just find a weapon to defend themselves if they really need it.
That's a really good one.
I'd say
Somebody might oppose that one, just saying.
It's like it's not impossible for someone to do that. It's not even unlikely. You can find something to defend yourself with quite easily. And with the city scope, I can get to spend 2 right away.
I'd say.
But on the contrary, if somebody is opposed to your changing, then it will increase the cost because of resistance.
Yeah,
true.
I was thinking, but if it's anyone rather than certain people, then I think that would be less people would resist it because it's if anyone will resist it. But yeah, no, it's so yeah. Let's go with that.
Okay, so anyone of 1 hit dice will be able to defend themselves by finding a weapon. It doesn't make them more powerful.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them more defense worthy. All
And-
they
and
can do is now defend themselves.
Is that in
It's gonna be weird,
Threeport?
that's for sure.
Is that in
What's that?
Threeport? Because
That
it's
is in
citywide.
Threeport.
So yeah. So make sure you note in Threeport. So if I ask you for something in the future, it'd be like, oh yeah, this only
Yeah.
applies in Threeport.
Yeah,
This
that
does
applies
re-
to 3-port. And,
Yeah.
and because of the way city land-based effects are like that, it might also pass down as a trait in their genetic line.
Yeah. The genetic ability of I have many pockets filled with knives. But
And the genetic ability of if you can't defend yourself, you'll be able to find something to defend yourself with.
yeah.
It'll seem like just really serendipitous luck at times.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just not. It's just me.
So Quinton, what are you considering?
I am considering if I can either A, outface the guards and make them mine,
Oh gosh.
or if I can convince the current mayor of this Freeport to essentially depower the church.
That would have massive resistance.
Oh yeah,
What,
I mean,
what you might want to do, to phrase it better, is say that no matter what, the guards will believe something you have to say about people.
oh yeah, I mean, but effectively just have the guards be more, but that would be more deception than any of my. No wait,
Well, it would
fall
fall
on
under
the
city, like
Yeah.
square under city.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say
that's
city.
true.
Yeah. So have them basically be your, so an increase in worship of you among gods and stuff like that, or
They really do believe in the Birdman.
or an increase in
in
trust.
the Waterman, sorry.
An increase in trust to you from gods.
Yeah, I mean, either one have them not question if I do anything as much, maybe.
Yeah, sure, I'd allow that.
That's basically the same thing. Just
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that's-
as everyone might have guessed, this entire game is literally about words.
Yeah. I'd say let's be plausible because you've worked as a guard yourself, and they probably
so I know people.
yeah.
And you're so justified in everything that you do, especially when you're beating up those crazy cultists that we haven't been able to stop at all, and they keep stealing people and, jamming people and kill others, I believe that a lawful person in any way would want to defend people from the church, honestly.
Yeah.
They seem like assholes. But, they've been there for a while. It's not like anybody can do anything. So they just kind of accept it, Like America accepts Trump.
It's
Basically, they won't really ask questions when I perform actions in the city.
Okie doke.
That's
Okay.
how I worded it.
Yeah. Sounds
So,
good.
of course, there might be some people who walk up to me and just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, the cults the cults will still have many questions, but yeah, the guards will not bother you as much.
Yeah,
I can't wait till someone tries to hurt someone in my presence, because they're gonna get their shit wrecked.
An aura of uncertainty and disorientation envelops those not welcome in the swamp, rendering them unable to find their way any specific location easily, protecting the bog witch's designated areas. So
Yeah, that one's still a work in progress.
no, that's a good one.
Yeah, and because it doesn't involve a shitload of people, you can easily say it's a village.
Yeah.
That's you go
Yeah.
You
So-
can go implausible village, and that'd be
Yeah,
A few square miles.
improbable and village definitely, because it's like a couple of miles of ruins.
And there's
Yeah.
no one there.
Yeah.
Just
Nobody's.
that's how you actually decide on the area of a place, unless you really need to take dimensions in this consideration. How many people are you're affecting? Because gods.
Yeah, but
I'm just
because
trying, I know is it under the Dominion bit in the book? Is that where all that's covered?
yes.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
the constant things are in the running the world, changing the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. That makes it easy.
and what the thing is if you just click in difficulty and scope, it'll actually give you how much it'll cost. So improbable and village, because it's like it's not making it entirely impossible for them to get there, but it's like already disorienting environments,
Yeah.
and
Would there be resistance to that?
no one really cares.
Okay.
It's like the only people who the church might be out to get you, but they're not really super into going out and like finding your shack. Otherwise they'd be scouring the place all the time.
Also, later on, it might not seem like right away that we're working together too well, but eventually we're going to want to do things we can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Bog Witch might want to make people happy for once, and she doesn't have the power to do that. But she can call on, Quinton, and they can work together to smash their words and dominion over, together. And that will take, the GM deciding, who has to spend as much, not the players.
Yeah.
And, then, you get your, dominion thing done. I do like that about this game.
Yeah, I like that. That is interesting.
It does
Having
have a
actual
lot later.
concrete mechanics for, faction and settlement management type.
Oh yeah, sign to mine. It doesn't matter what freaking system he has going. It has factions for settlements.
Yeah.
Oh, that motherfucker.
I'm
I was
going.
playing Other Dust. I was like, why is Other Dust has factions? It's literally just post-apocalyptic Earth with no ability to survive at all. Hey, buddy.
I'm going to stop the recording now.
Yeah.
And because I think we've just about done everything, so bye bye.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Bye.
I want to level up though. I love me.
Well, level up then. Okay, level up. I was just going to stop the recording, but yeah.
yeah, quick question. If I want to start a project that is called Take Over the Underworld, as in the criminal underworld of Freeport, how difficult is this going to be?
You're going to face quite a lot of resistance there. So
I mean, it sounds feasibly plausible. It's just that you would have to do a city for scope, and then you'll just have to keep adding people who will resist you. Anybody of significant power or authority.
Yeah.
Basically, a high priest, a mayor, a hero, another godbound, hell, even a fucking what are they?
Parasite god.
Creation parasite. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyone in the area could say, no, I don't want you to do that, and they can add their number onto the thing, and that will be multiplied by 2. And that's
Meanwhile, you could
do it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you could try and do it without doing it through Dominion. Like it doesn't. Dominion is just like almost the fast track way of doing it. Well, you could just do it in person.
Yeah,
we could go down there and say, hey, us, you're the god of terror, you're the god of terror.
I suppose
I mean,
what we could do is we're gonna I'll say plausible city, and it's got a resistance of 4, and
so it'll be a total of 10 dominion.
and that will lower if you go down and clear up some issues.
Nope, it's a total of 6 dominion.
Yeah. So yeah, that
actually,
will.
you add the number onto the base, which is plausible. So 1.
I thought it was a
Right.
multiplication thing.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
multiply. Yeah, since it's plausible is 1. You're right.
Yeah, so I have a base modifier of 2 and then a 4 resistance on top of that.
Yeah.
So 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will go down if you head out
If
and
I go and confront the people.
yeah, confront them / persuade them. Yeah, whatever you want to take it. You know,
But I'm just gonna eat free influence into it.
okie doke. Well, you don't have to spend
So you're-
influence for it. You know, all you have to spend is domain. So
Yeah,
Dominion.
now I'm just using influence.
okie doke.
As,
To work on
as
it,
me,
yeah,
as me
that's-
going out
that's-
and confronting people and finding out who the fuck I need to talk to.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
Even though I already know
Influence
that,
is really
but-
interesting. It means that you're actively working on it. You can't like commit influence unless you're currently working on it. So that works. You know.
Okay,
It
so
really ever gets used because of that thing.
so you guys
Oh, it's
have
usually not my campaign.
leveled up then. So you're all level 2.
I need a new
Yeah,
friend.
I get to bind a word, which means I need to talk to you all later about what the fuck we're doing.
Mhm.
I need to figure out what fact I want.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we've agreed on what the Bog Witch's fact will be.
Fuck masonry.
Masonry.
Can I turn that into something serious? I wonder.
I
Yeah.
hate
Dislike or-
speculation.
Yeah.
I hate buildings.
Basically, just make it a dislike for dense civilization.
I like it. I'm gonna go with that. It makes sense.
Hmm.
Alright.
Because if you're from a nomadic tribe, you would like things to not be as stationary and would like to be able to move it more easily.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't wait till we literally rip it out of the ground, throw it in the air, and make it fly. That's gonna be fun. So that's just the thing I'm gonna. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm gonna make it happen myself.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
So what fact do you think you're...
That's impossible. Times 4 plus 6. That's 8. No one's resisting us. So
So-
I'm going on a quest. Sorry.
Quinton, what are you considering for your fact?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm going to be. I arm the weak and rally the defenseless. You know,
Yeah.
really lean into that protection angle. That way, if I need to find a way to arm a whole bunch of villagers and turn them into a mob, it's easier.
I mean, one of the things that you did do, you know, was Quinton offered refuge, you know, refuge for what's the name, Gretchen. Like, you know, that was one of the actual things that, you know, you did almost immediately. It was like, Gretchen, I can give you a you know, safe place.
That sounds good for Quinton. Yeah.
Yeah, so something like
I know where to
safe
bring it.
haven for the
Yeah,
weak and wary.
yeah, that sounds good to me.
I like it. So that does bring me that we need to talk something like in a minute or so, like in the Discord server.
Yeah.
I want to know if we're going to be in a cult. 'cause-
I think I'm going to end this the recording here then, and we can go over what gifts and everything people bound next time.
Alright, this has been my TED Talk. I'll see you guys later.
Oh dear.